HeyWoah big. Dude, a big.
Break on the Rock, Secret First, I see you. I see you. Hey, all right. What kind of Bateman are we doing this morning? I think I forgot to turn the autoplay on the old one off. Let's find out. We saw it last time. Chill. I'm thinking Peopleman.
Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people. Rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people. People dancing on the people. I got people on the people. People dancing on the people with the people on the people. Smoking CO2, see me, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the dancing on the people. I got people. 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 Dancing on the people. I got
everybody in the booth can tell joint, dancing, dancing on the people, people dancing on the people. I got people on the people, people dancing on the people with the people on the.
Yo. How you guys doing this fine evening? Oh man. Secret first. Frank on the rocks. I saw it. TY for the follow. Wayward Alva. Miyabi for the tier 1. Appreciate it. TYVM. We got the rules. Yes, we do. Big rulers. I can't wait. There's 2 news articles. Supposedly they're long. I've tried to avoid spoilers so that it's one of them React Andy streams. You know the type. Fizz6. Nice emote. With the Mad Yee. Appreciate it. Hello, people on YouTube. Void Spork. Big rule. Yeah, big rules. Yeah. Why do you have a little starry boy icon? I believe that means you're like a new member or something. I think that has to do with YouTube memberships. I'm still kind of new to YouTube live streaming. Somewhat of an old hand at Twitch, but I believe that's what that means. Oh, we're getting some nice emotes in chat. Look at that amazing plibit. We got the plibit emotes. Oh, only the true knowers know. Got some Shondo business, Giga, Professor Lando. Ooh, Professor Lando. Man, Rob's trying to get an education. I dig. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, YouTube people, on my Discord, I have a questionnaire. I'm just trying to get a sense of the community, you know? And so I put out you'll have to scroll up slightly, because I just keep making content. Oh my fucking god. Hi, please take this survey. Yesterday at 11 p.m. I just want to see what games people play, how much they play them. For the most part. Discord, let you find the link. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I always put it in the description. You will have to read the rules. Like manually. To be able to see the whole place. But that shouldn't be such a cross to bear. Day Barracuda. Thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it for 31 months. 31 months? That's the same number as how old Lord Scroll is. 31 years. Anyway, my man's a little moth enjoyer. Juniper Actiez. She makes good work. You don't really try a lot with flesh. It would make things hard. Oh, you're talking about painting. By all means, continue on. Don't worry about it. Yeah, based rules reader. We like them. Can't wait to see how Maggot can play like in the new edition. Dude, I'm kind of excited. All this 4th edition stuff, rules-wise, that I've seen so far, I have been either like, yeah, good, okay, or pretty impressed by. I'm getting myself all hyped up. Some Norwegian dude thinks you're gifting a tier 1 sub. To Meatball Supreme. Appreciate it. Please don't nerf the Galotkin. Some Norwegian dude thanks for another gift. To Dragon Spat. The names are truncated. I kind of can't see them from my back end. Apologies. No spoilers, but the rules are peak quality. Finally. Some good fucking rules. Am I right? Damn, that's some good stuff. Hey, let's get my hopes up, right? Let's... Hold on. Let's waft from the microphone. Ooh. Take it in. The smell of hopium. Delicious, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, let's get my hopes all up. In that case, What do I wish? We're gonna talk about today, or rather, I'm gonna read about today. Force is looking better than 3rd edition already. Yeah, we'll see about that. Soul Grinder stonks rising. Whatever you say. I find it weird that 40k ass not fantasy, completely not AoS looking ass model is somehow legal in this game, but I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I should learn to let go. It's not actually a big deal, you know? The two, well, we can look at the headlines anyway so that I can formulate my wish list before we go over them, right? React to your opponent with powerful new commands in new AoS, and how battle traits and battle formations shape your army. Okay, those are the two news items. Beast of Chaos, whatever happened there, as far as I know, as far as I can tell, and this is mostly like a Vince Venturella thing and some other people, as near as I can tell, there's different departments and subdivisions in GW, and they're bickering amongst each other, and their unprofessionalism is hurting the company itself, the bottom line, and the customers all at the same time. For some reason, Beast of Chaos you're not allowed to sell miniatures for 2 different games. You can't do it. That's against the law, supposedly. And the old world, Forge World Studios, they wanted Beast of Chaos in their game, not AoS. And so apparently that just fucking happened. Like, nope, it's in this game instead. Not both. Again, look, I'm a Bachelor of Fine Arts, okay? I don't know business, clearly. I'm of a streamer. Not too savvy on the business stuff, but to me it seems like if you sold Beast of Chaos to AoS players and you sold it to the old world players, you would be increasing the amount of sales you would be doing with one product, right? Like for me, I stream live, okay? And I do it to YouTube, I do it to Twitch. You can watch me on whichever platform you find the most convenient. And some people give me $5 and the system works, right? After I'm done streaming, SG Arcade on HeyWoah Plus, he like chops it up into little clips and stuff that people can watch at their leisure if they don't want to sit through a 4-hour stream. And then when they watch over there, they are shown ads, and then we earn ad revenue from that. So in a way, I'm kind of paid twice for doing something once. Now again, BFA, so I don't know business, but that seems good, just in general. Do something once, get paid twice, but I don't know. It's against the law. Make GW hire SJ Arcade. Yeah, I don't know. Now, normally I just, if I'm not like an expert at something or I don't know too much about it, usually I just defer to the people who run a billion-dollar business. They clearly know better than me, right? So in a vacuum, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, but I must be missing something. They're probably right? That's my like neutral in a vacuum take, is that if something seems like a mistake, I don't know, maybe it's not. They're the experts. They're the billion-dollar company. I'm not a billion-dollar company, so obviously their decisions on average are probably better than mine, but I don't know. Here we are. Hey, well, you have a minute 33 to double dash. Let me know if you need anything. I'm good. VM on that one. I went for sushi yesterday. It was fucking delicious. but I can't be spending $20 on meals. That's a once a week max kind of thing. I mostly go for sandwiches and canned tuna, soups and stuff that you can kind of keep for a while. Ahem. Kinto Halrath is explaining things, so let me read it. But if you have a budget of X dollars and need to know which studio gets what percent of said budget, but they both sell Beast of Chaos, how do you know how to split it? That's probably not too hard, right? Surely you collect data on who buys the box with square bases and who buys the box with round bases, perhaps, you know? Maybe you can do some calculations on that. I bet they have pretty advanced math behind their, you know, giant sales and giant company, you know. To me, having that annoying, ooh, what's this, what's that, you know, that little annoyance, it's probably not worth dropping an entire line from an entire game. Certainly one that you've already bought into. You made a terrain feature, you paid to do that, to produce that. No terrain features in TOW, so you're just cutting that off. Writing it off, that's a waste. Endless spells, none of those in TOS. Cutting those off, I don't know. I bet figuring out how much one game or one army is sold versus another isn't like insurmountable. Perhaps it's an annoyance, but GW collects data for sure, yeah. Haven't they done one customer survey ever? I know they did. I recall one of their customer surveys. I don't know how many others they've done. It's kind of insane that a company of their size wouldn't collect data. You just can't. You kind of can't not do that. Especially as it pertains to like buying and selling stuff. Also, there's a difference between like a public survey that everybody knows about and then just a bunch of other ones that are, all right, we got this group of people, we got that group of people, right? You're given to understand it's what happened to Horus Heresy. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Again, I'm not the business guy in this one, so usually I defer. But Vince really is. It's like exactly what he does, and I heard his take on it, and it seemed to make sense to me. Maybe I'm influenceable, but like that product management is literally exactly what Vince does professionally. For a big company run by another multinational company, or I don't know if it's multinational, it's huge. And he seemed to think that it was crazy mistake, as in like I don't know if I've seen him that animated, because I watched maybe the first half of Warhammer Weekly, but then they were going to talk about the rules, and so I left. Vince was like mad. It was very entertaining to watch, and he's like, if somebody made a mistake that bad, I would fire them on the spot. I'm like, oh shit. Usually he's pretty reserved about this kind of stuff. He thought he painted minis. He paints minis as much as he damn well pleases, which is all the time. He's also traveling all the time and all sorts of other stuff like that. You force people to take a survey each checkout, Trouble Vision? Yeah, because you just bought something, right? Okay, mark 1 for that. What went down with Horus Heresy? You just joined. I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't play 40k. I don't look into it. Supposedly there are they're like old models from 40k, and they took them all from 40k and retired them and put them in Horus Heresy. And it felt a bit like BOC. Except the armies weren't gone, it was just all the old models. Don't quote me on that though, because again, I don't really follow either game, so. Vince is what we call a so-so pro, huh? All the Forge World stuff mostly, resin stuff. Yeah, it seems like people are saying that. Wait, you're not a billion-dollar company? No, I'm afraid not. I'm like a $12,000 company. I write off meals I have at work on taxes and stuff. I'm not a big company. Well, not completely off. You can get 50% if you're eating at work or in a home office. Wait, you can do that? Under certain specifications, yeah, I would look it up. Talk to a tax person, though. Don't take internet man's tax advice. You want to make sure about that stuff. HeyWoah was a so corpo, yeah. HeyWoah incorporated. They took it out apparently because of the divide in the studios between their products, so they pulled the rug on a lot of people who invested money in the HH stuff, similar to the recent AoS model cut. Yeah, okay. So the parallels people were drawing there, kind of similar, in which makes sense. The Internet Hermit said the sandwich is free. 50% not free. You used to, during COVID, you could get 100% from like work from home stuff. That shit was fire for like 2 years. I heard about that and I made sure to only ever like eat or get food during work time, home office, all that stuff. Shit was hot. Now it's reduced, I believe, to 50%. But again, look into it yourself, please. Yeah, I have qualified tax advice on account of my fine arts degree. Competitive scene in 40k was dominated by Forge World tanks, which is why they asked them in 10th edition back to Horus Heresy. Okay. You and Pancreas collab when? I don't know. I don't collab with people usually. It doesn't mean no, I suppose, but I'm not like a collabor. It's no slight to people. It's just like I'm a hermit in real life, and I'm also kind of a hermit, I suppose, on my stream. In general, I don't like podcast stuff. I mean, I did it for the April Fool's stream, but that should kind of tell you something. I typically don't like the kind of content where it's 4 guys laughing at their own jokes on a mic, you know? Takes them 45 minutes to get to the point. I don't know. And you gotta figure out, oh, do they have a good mic? Almost certainly no, so you gotta suffer through that. Discord delay, people talking over each other. I'll do it eventually, here and there, probably, you know what I mean? But I'm not the type of streamer guy who, like, always has a guest star on. Our styles wouldn't gel. You don't think so? I don't know too much about Pancreas No Works. Well, work, to be perfectly honest. I know he did like a Stormcast thing. And he very recently did the same Stormcast rap, except he censored everything that got cut. I thought that was clever. By all accounts, people seem to like his stuff. Good. Yeah, all right. Thomas Jefferson, thanks for becoming a HeyWoah enjoyer. I appreciate it. On YouTube. Thanks for the membership. Oh, I think I saw Pancreas No Work in chat, like, last stream. I don't know if he said anything, but somebody called him out that he was there. So cool. That was nice of him showing up. Keep in mind the Beast Claw Raiders usually just eat tax agents when they show up. Oh, true, yeah. It's hard to serve them when they eat the document. We prefer one guy laughing at chat's bad jokes here. Hey, sometimes chat's jokes are good. You know? The stream is sponsored by Manscaped. And, what was that one? Man Great. The Norm MacDonald one. And the one wrestler gif talking about cream. Yeah. Phaseroon, thanks for the follow. I bet you could collab with Mel. She'd be down, I think. I don't think so, no. No, I just don't think so. Maybe Matarakan in my fucking dreams. But I chose the wrong game. It was Bricky instead. He fucking got me. Good work, you son of a bitch. I don't know. She looked at Ilario one time. There's still hope, right, chat? Right? She'll be like, what's this Age of Sigmar thing? She'll type it in. Mine will come up. She'll click it. She'll watch mine. She'll laugh. Who's this? I can see it now. Phaseroon, thanks for the prime. Appreciate it. Right after following, too. Thanks for liking my stuff. No collab, stay solo. If a 7,000 average viewer streamer wanted to collab, cash register noises would overpower my microphone, and you'd see another talking head on the stream like that. Ha. I ain't trying to go to a day job as much as you ain't trying to go to a day job, you know what I mean? Anyway, we all got that price. Everybody who goes to a job has their price. That is the price of living. Before there was such a thing as a job, you had to do bullshit anyway. Hunt deer and stuff. And $20 is $20. You know what I mean? Matara will get around to you once 4th edition hype ramps up. Ooh. Oh, it's time. Someday it'll be my time. You guys are just buttering me up, huh? All right. Would you do something with Poorhammer? They talked about AoS once, and they have talked about you before. Oh, cool. I don't know that I've heard of. No, I think maybe I have. I don't want anybody to take offense because I have never heard of anybody, right? But as it pertains to watching AoS content, I make it, right? So it's kind of like if I used to work at a golf course when I was a kid, mowing fairways and spreading dangerous chemicals that have since been banned for giving pregnant women birth defects, but apparently it's fine if you're a guy. Just suffer. And so all day it'd be like mowing shit, weed whacking, right? That was my job for, I don't know, a few years. You go home, you don't want to mow the lawn. That's what you do for work, right? It's kind of like that. I watch Vince because I rather like his show when I'm able to. But, you know, I'm trying to watch Papkin. Peppa. And other degenerate shit like that on the other monitor when I'm working, you know. Thanks for the follow. Michael Jordan Pegasus. Appreciate it. Poor Hammer always reminded you of my attitude, but for 40k, oh, he's based. Great work, Poor Hammer, I guess. Poor Hammer does GW armies on a budget, stuff mostly as far as I've seen. Oh, okay, Whoa X Giga rat list posting. Ooh. I think Giga is too smart to collab with me. She's got that lady. She strikes me as one of those business acumen, intelligent ladies. Probably too smart. But, you know, I ain't trying to turn down anything like that. It would be cool. I wonder if I could live up to doing such a thing. I got my own thing going on and I'm a weirdo besides. Parma basically said for AoS, just go to HeyWoah. He does it better than they... Oh, that's nice of them. See, that's what I do for 40k. People ask me about 40k stuff. I basically say, I don't know. Watch 40k stuff. I don't know about it. I tend to just try to talk about stuff I know about. And then you grew up and made jokes about mowing lawns and whacking weeds and power washing. The chemical, yeah, the chemicals got to me. Hello, funny ogre man. I am late for the rules discussion. Don't worry, we're just easing into it. That's the beauty of streaming. We can ease into it, go have a little back and forth. Talk about some rules when it gets to rule talking. Any rules talkers? Dude, Rule Talker, favorite character from MGS5. Wysiwyg, do you think it's kind of funny that there's so many channels and personalities that are interested in AoS, and they occasionally mention HeyWoah like he's a literal ogre wizard in some dark tower, a presence with knowledge that few have dared to approach? Well, I don't do a lot of collabs. I don't go outside. I'm sort of reclusive, I suppose, in that way, as essentially, like, I'm kind of a hermit, right? And I've done some huge videos, but in general, I'm not a big channel at all. You know? I got a video with, I think, 700,000 views. I got another video with, I think, 400,000 views. Half a dozen maybe teetering on the edge of 100k. But as far as a channel is concerned, I have 25,000 subs maybe. When I post a video, a few thousand people watch it, right? I'm like an enigma. Like, it's kind of neat in a way. Makes for a good story. The mystique. All you know is you started looking into bits of AoS lore and you popped up in recommendations pretty quick. Well, that's nice of those people. That's nice. Highway presumptuously to the danger zone. Thanks for the tier 1. Appreciate it. Good name. Thanks for liking my stuff. Can confirm you're a well-respected channel among the Warhammer community, though. Yeah, I mean, that's nice. So am I like MF Doom? I'm your content creator's favorite content creator, one of those kind of things. That's kind of neat, I suppose. I would rather be humongously rich and successful, but still, that's kind of neat anyway. You know, if something great can't happen, at least give me something that's a nice story. That's almost just as good. Husband on Thunder Tusk, what do we got? Soul Clueless. Just dropped $20, dude. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Who was that, though? Let me check. HeyWoah is a Pippa and Shondo enjoyer. Big. True. Also, great taste. So clueless. I disagree, though. It doesn't seem that you are very clueless. Very refined tastes, sir. And thanks for the $20. Yeah, and people know that I watch Shondo because of my fucking police story and not the Jackie Chan one. because she was shrieking from my second monitor when the police stopped outside my door. It's fucking trying to talk to him, and just Shondo's just fucking screaming right out of the speakers. It was great. Made for a good story. Awkward in the moment for sure, but made for a great story. Fist of the Game to Die. Thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs to the community. I appreciate it. Thanks for being generous. Found out about HeyWoah from the Maniac video. Oh, Maniac, yeah. That suggested to me through the algorithm. Really appreciate the regular long form content. Nice to listen to you at work. Oh, Bishop, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for watching me, even though you watched my awful Maniac stream clip video. I've thought about taking that thing down so many times. The sound is annoying on it. It's like a live stream reaction bullshit, so that it's way too long, and I don't know. It's one of those videos you make that you don't like, but a bunch of people watched it, and you just can't decide whether to take it down or not. It's one of those. So maybe I was right not to, even though. Anyway, thanks for liking my stuff. One day, hey, we'll descend like crazy uncle to teach you younglings all the things their parents didn't want them to know about AoS. Angel food ice cream, yeah. Oh, we got PPPP. From what looks like a Pringles man avatar. Good work. You like the perspective in the Maniac video, though? Yeah, in my head, I think I was just really busy and I couldn't do a proper video, so I just used the stream clip. But damn, I wanted to write a script and be coherent and lay all my points out and just make a better video for it. But I think it was one of those weeks that I was swamped with work, and so I'm just like, I'll cut the stream out and put it there. And my point is, I wish it would have been a better video. One of those real ones, you know, with a script and stuff. Shondo DMC playthrough is goated for sure. Yo, I hope she gets better. It's really too bad she's on hiatus. I know that what she's got is not really something you get better from, or maybe get over, but still, poor girl. Anyway, as soon as we get a female ogre model, we're getting a HeyWoah VTuber stream. Nah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. VTuber models are expensive, and I think a lot of my audience would just be weirded out by it. And plus, I've waited so long anyway. The fad's over. It's not the fad is over. It's just like, if you begin being a VTuber right now, no one cares. In 2020, it was cool, and you would get free viewership just from the novelty of it. But I think that's kind of over with. Although, I have done the PNG little ogre guy eating the sandwich, and I gotta say, from a pure laziness standpoint, it was kind of nice. You can lean back in your chair, you can eat fucking tacos and shit. Nobody has to watch that. From a laziness standpoint, it was actually kind of nice. I don't gotta do my makeup, you know. Also, I can hide the ugly mug. Make some cool, interesting thing. It's probably good for thumbnails when you're scrolling through Twitch and you see like a thumbnail of cool art. It's probably better than seeing some fucking nerd, right? I don't know. There are reasons to do it. The hat is lost, though. I could have 1,000,000 hats. You just have to copy and paste them and put them on the little guy. I would change from having 6 or 7 hats to 10,000. 50 years of spice profits. Paid for these hats. I don't know. If you donate $5, you get to choose which hat HeyWoah wears. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, true. It is something special that it takes a certain amount of, this is kind of weird, you know, for me to have really like physically actually made big hats and stuff like that. This is the hat I was wearing when I talked to the police, by the way, which I realized deeply the moment I started talking to them. Steely, thanks for the $5. Appreciate it. You need to go from disliking to liking the double turn. You wonder how many others had a similar experience, like a public service. Cheers, sir. Yeah, I fully understand why somebody wouldn't like the double turn. I think the strongest anti-double turn argument is time. And it's the same thing in Commander, EDH, Magic. Somebody casts temporal manipulation. And everybody else is like, okay, take 2 turns in a row. Now we all just wait for you, So like to me, that's the strongest argument, is that one right there. Now I gotta watch you take another entire turn. Fuck me, right? But in general, the rule of thumb is you never take a double unless it will literally right now either table your opponent or instantly win you the game. Otherwise, when you win priority and you would get a double, always give it away. Unless you're literally going to win on the spot if you take it. And that's generally how people play, I think. At least in tournaments. I don't know how casual people play. And they changed the rules on double turns, speaking of rule changes, that you can no longer score battle tactics on the turn if you take a double. Which I felt was a strange change for 2 reasons. One, because that was already, so not taking the double unless you would literally win was already how people played. And so when they changed the rules to further punish you for doing it essentially wrong, I'm like, well, you're just reinforcing the way everybody plays anyway. Maybe it's a wake-up call to the people who hadn't got it yet, i.e. maybe new players or casuals. That's like, hey, this is how you're supposed to do it. Maybe that was it. And 2, casual players don't play with battle tactics. So it's a change to the double turn targeted at perhaps casual players that doesn't affect them at all. I don't think. Unless I'm wrong, but it seems to me that casual players aren't going to bother with battle tactics. They're annoying. They take too much time. The game grinds to a halt. You got to look at a stupid piece of paper. And they're all just like, stand in 3 spots, get next to the board edge, do a backflip as long as you own a dock model. It's stupid. It's like a waste of time. Casual players don't want to do that. And so when they change the double turn to stop you from scoring battle tactics, it's like, yeah, those players weren't playing with them anyway. So anyway, I found that to be weird, but not weird in a way that has any effect on anything. So I suppose if they're going to make a weird decision, it might as well not really affect, I don't think, much. Now, as far as taking 2 turns in a row, I mean, it sucks when my opponent casts Time Walk. But when I get to cast Time Walk in Magic, when I go Forbidden Orchard, Mox Emerald, Oath of Druids go, they try to do something, force it, my upkeep, I flip until I hit Grizzlebrand, draw 14 cards, cast Time Walk. That shit's good, man. I like it. I kind of like taking 2 turns in a row. Yeah, it sucks when my opponent does it, but I kind of like it. And so similarly, it sucks when my opponent kills my guys, but I sure like charging impact hits into theirs, so alright. I'll take the good with the bad. Your local group is casual, but we try to use battle tactics, if anything else, to try and learn them to become better players. Maybe there's a lot more people like that than what is thought. I mean, that's probably the case, Whiskey Lima. I'm sure there are plenty of people in the halfway zone. In which case, maybe the new change will be a decent hint to them. Ooh, okay, so I don't take doubles unless it's lights out, unless it's the nail in the coffin. Alright. In general, that probably means less double turns will be taken. And isn't that what the people want in a certain respect? They have not yet understood the value in giving it away. Oh, perhaps, yeah. Anyway, Steely, thanks for the $5. That started that whole tangent. There are degrees of casual? Yeah, for sure. In fact, until I started playing Games Workshop games, I didn't even know there was a degree of casual as what Games Workshop was targeting some of their stuff for. I didn't think it even existed. Because I come from Magic. And then I show up to Games Workshop and they're like, oh, we like beer and pretzel players, and these are the rules for open play. And this is the first edition before there were even points for Age of Sigmar. And I'm just like, I am discovering new species of the level of how casual a human can possibly be. I feel like pinning him to like a mothboard, or like a scientist. I couldn't believe it. Maybe it's just the culture that I came from. Jim Criminies. Hey, thanks for the first time chat. Do people think Spearhead is going to be a fun, viable format? I think people hope Spearhead is going to be a fun, viable format. Because even though I think they're kind of wrong, I also understand that I'm the weird one. I think anyone who wants to play 1K or a grow league of AoS is simply incorrect. It's like playing chess with half the pieces. Why would you want to do that? But that's like a hugely popular want. You know, it's an idea, it's a want, and the customer's never wrong. So if they want something, give it to them. Here we come with modular rules, I suppose. So I hope Spearhead is good. What's a key point of business? Find a need and fill it, right? Spearhead better be good, because 1K is not. That's a problem. CG Busta thinks it's $10. Thinks it'll become PP. So true. HeyWoah, here's $5. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Oh, I see it. Yeah, Henya, that's a cat. Here's $5. Elder Supa Conductor, thanks for the Prime. Appreciate it. Spearhead is for playing during break in an office. How is that possible? You're bringing 1,000-point army on the subway or something? That's nuts to me. To work. Spearhead is for playing during break in a GW office, maybe. Out of your mind. I don't know. I don't mean to bully you, Nezermore. I don't mean to. To me, that's like, person who's only ever worked at Games Workshop thinks this is how the world is. I'm not sure. Spearhead is like 600 points? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't know how many points Spearhead was supposed to be. Somebody in chat says it's supposedly 600. See, this is how much I know about it. Because I just don't care. The game is a 2,000-point war game. All this other crap, don't care. It's on-ramps, marketing, oogly boogly, don't care. But it's really important. It's just I don't care. That's the difference. European break times are no joke. Geez, I guess so. Girl leagues are fun for more narrative stuff and help get people in the game, but you've never seen a Path to Glory campaign go beyond 1K because people will just lose interest. See, that's something, Bishop, that I just have to take as the case. So many people have said what you have said that I have to believe that out there's just millions of people doing grow leagues and Path to Glory and stuff. But I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know why you would want to do that. Path to Glory is more confusing than the actual game. It's a bad way to get into Age of Sigmar, complexity-wise. It's way more complicated in a sense. I just think, like, you get 2K, and then you play with 2K. And while you're collecting and painting, you play TTS. Free shrugs. I don't know. chess is a bad example, I guess, but it's just like, hey, you want to play with a few pawns and one king? Nah. I'll just play chess, thanks. You barely have time to grab a sandwich in your half-hour break at work? Yeah, for sure. Dude, where's my red rook? Just get more rook. Omega lol. You know what I did hear, though? Speaking of ways to get people into the game. One way I heard, and I think Vince, actually a bunch of people, brought this one up. If you only have 1k points, play doubles if you're new. You got 1k, a friend has 1k. Play both of those as doubles against either a 2,000 point or 2 other 1ks. That way you have a balanced game, and you can play it with only 1,000 points. But like 2,000 points where the stuff is kind of happening, it's closer to kind of the game. And at least in my experience, because I've done doubles before, I've been to a doubles event a few times, your turns don't actually take longer. I don't even think they take longer than if you're one person, because you got 2 people moving stuff during the movement phase at the same time. You're essentially doing 2 things at once, and that cuts so much time. Also bring back Triumph and Treachery. Let's fucking go, you know? Ahem. You actually did a bunch of Spearhead yourself, trying to get it, people into the game. You made a bunch of 1k armies with some cool units in a single PDF with all the rules. Dude, I did that for Magic a million years ago. Well, I'm going to get people into Magic, so I'm going to make little 40 card decks, and they all have a bunch of stuff for new players, and I'm going to get people into it. The levels of depraved nerdity that, that can go on. Your local has an escalation league. It gets people with only a few figures working towards a, for some reason, censored word. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. After that, they start the regular tournaments. They go through it like every 3 to 4 months. Oh, cool. All right, shall we get on? That censored word is goal. Oh. All right. I don't know what it could have been, but fair enough. Anyway, there's some news. Oh shit, that's right. I'm probably not gonna do a good job at this, but I gotta do it anyway for my man who didn't live to see it. And I wrote this joke, but unfortunately it was an obvious joke. I was pretty proud of it, but it was so obvious that everybody else thought of this joke now too. But fuck it, I'm doing the bit. All right? I'm doing the bit. And in other news, O.J. Simpson's passed away at the age of 76. And with that, at long last, he can rest easy, knowing that his wife's killer is finally gone. All right, there it is. Thanks, Norm. Thanks, Norm MacDonald. Ogre J. Simpson, fucking got him, dude. Apologies for the bad Norm, but it's the best I got. The Onion had a good one too. That I saw, and it was something like, heaven rules that O.J. Simpson will stay alive because the coffin doesn't fit. Heh. That was a good one too. All right, anyway, I had to do it. It was more of a young Norm Macdonald, I guess, than how he grew into his voice and demeanor. Yeah, you know, didn't do so much of that. Inception thinks it's $5, appreciate it. I love Spearhead. It's good. Yeah, sorry. I hope Spearhead is good somehow. Pardon me, can't read. But those who want faster games with fewer minis on smaller tables really should try Warcry already. Yeah, it's... Damn, you know, that's kind of like my feeling on it. I know that some people there's just going to be a Goldilocks zone, and they want that many models, and that's it. But I feel like if I want a more skirmishy game, I'll play an actual skirmish game. To me, a skirmish game is like 7 models on the table or something like that. Little guys. Too soon for Norm, yeah. Warcry is simplistic to the point of uselessness in regards to teaching someone the bigger game. Yeah, as an on-ramp to AoS, it's probably not, this isn't a word, realistically appropriate. But it's, bro, it's not like AoS. It's like that hard to learn, you know? It's no Palladium Rifts. It's no Path of Exile, right? Ahem. You find it very unsettling starting Warcry now after the culling of the warbands. Yeah, what's going to happen with those? I found their communication to be quite awful. Oh, Malarkey, is that a Rifts mention? Any Kevin Simbedia fans in the chat? Well, to be perfectly honest, even if you are a Rifts fan, you may not actually be a Kevin Simbedia fan. But anyway. Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, out of production. Perhaps they'll keep rules in Warcry. I wish they would have told me. I wish they would have told the poor fucking intern they hired to write the copy on that, because they clearly didn't tell that guy. What a thankless job that is. Hey, I want you to tell our customers that we're canceling some armies and retiring a bunch of shit. And some of them are getting replaced across a few games. Okay. Can I have more information? No. Well, fuck me. I do not envy whoever had to write that article with the information they weren't given. And yet here we are. Skookers. Hey, thanks for the 10 Canadian dollar dues. Appreciate it. Hello, I hope I just got into AoS through your videos. I don't think I'll get into the minis, but I do like the lore. What books or authors would you suggest you look into? You know what, Skookers? I actually just like the game. And I've never read any of the novels or literature. I mean, I read the battle tomes and the core rules and stuff like that. And Soulbound, the tabletop RPG, actually has some nice world building to it. But I don't read Age of Sigmar books. So, sorry for your $10, but I don't have good books and author recommendations to you. It is highly probable that a bunch of people in my Discord would. So I would echo that question there to you. But also apologies. God Eater's Son is the best book, says somebody. Okay, interesting. All right. First time chatter. I think the skirmish games like Kill Team Warcry are more for getting people to buy like a box of models and get into the world more so than the rules of the game. Yes, Highway Danger Zone, exactly. Those side games that are skirmish, 6 or 7 guys, 5 or 6 guys, maybe even 10 guys, that's just to get you to own anything Games Workshop at all. And then once you have done that, the likelihood of you doing that again somehow and eventually working your way into buying more is higher. And I think that's really what those things are for, more than like learning the rules to AoS apparently, or something like that. Bobo, thanks for $5. Imagine only wanting 7 models on the table. Anyway, back to my Beast Claw army. Yeah, true. I was about to mention that. I myself love 7 models on the table, but each of them are this big, so. Or the Sons of Behemoth enjoyers. 4. But they're the size of Cabbage Patch Kids in real life. Okay. Hey, thanks for the $5. G-Well. Cynical Part of You almost thinks GW intentionally puts out a little information to generate confusion. People panicking creates engagement. It creates clicks on their website, probably. And so that's good for whoever runs the website to point to the number of people who show up to it with clickbait like that. But let's not get lost in the sauce that the whole point is that people buy your stuff at the end of the day. And in that regard, it was a horrible, horrible fuck up. Because the thing about luxury hobbies, okay? Expensive luxury hobbies, especially ones with a creative tilt. Like Magic the Gathering is an expensive luxury hobby. And there is personalization there, but you're, at least unless you're altering the cards, they're not like, you're not creatively making them your own. You are in AoS. And you really get like this, this thing becomes part of your identity in a certain way with your customer. It's like a fan of Blizzard games back in the day. You would have a Blizzard con and people would actually go to it, right? Now that's a good thing because your customers are extra loyal if you do that. And they'll pay basically whatever the fuck you charge for anything, gladly, right? And they're fiercely loyal. But it also means that that passion is a double-edged sword. It means when you do something wrong, they're passionately furious about it. And when you break their trust, not only will they quit your game, they'll try to get other people to quit your game too, and they'll shit talk you for 19 years. So, you know, it's good and it's bad. Be careful what you're doing with that, playing with people's emotions like that. I think Vince was talking about McDonald's. Nobody really gives a shit about McDonald's. You might like McDonald's. You might go to McDonald's, but if they take your favorite menu item off of McDonald's, you're like, okay, I'll go somewhere else. But you'll still go to McDonald's if it's the only place in town or if it's the closest. Who cares? If they take your army off the shelf in GW land, Bone Splitters, Beasts of Chaos, you might never go back again. And your kids won't, and your friends won't. I was a little terse with my Bone Splitters treatment of my one video in a way that I kind of regret. Just because nobody plays them doesn't mean they don't deserve sympathy. I gave some sympathy, but at the end I worded something wrong, so I regret that. It's kind of out of nowhere, but Plastic Crack brought it to my attention, and I rewatched the video, and I'm like, yeah, he's right. He called me a victim blamer, which, to be clear, I am. In more things than just Games Workshop. Somebody cancel him. Anyway, but I thought it was a little unfair regardless. G-Well, thanks for the Canadian $2. Best General Lore, Lexicanum, Core Book, Soulbound. I haven't found Wikipedias online to be particularly good sources of AoS lore ever. But maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. Yes, like old fantasy players, Corbin Windsor, exactly. A lot of old fantasy players have never forgotten, and it's 9 years later and they still say more like Age of Shidmar. You know what I mean? It's cool if you can get your customers to make your products part of their identity, but if you fuck it up, it will blow up in your face. Base Kick, first time chatter, looking at the 4.0 edition stats. The only one that has a different color is Save Green. Wonder if they will restrict save stacking to can't modify past set number. Biggest issue with 3.0 is 3-up save units, mass save stacking to 2-up. Even after rend, yes, I agree. But the way to stop that is not a core rule band-aid. It's to have some restraint when you're writing the rules that allow you to change your save. I think. I mean, I guess you could do it either way, but since they're going back through every war scroll anyway, you don't need to do the lazy stuff. Like go into the core rules and say, all right, well, nobody can do this. The problem is you have a exception-based design with Age of Sigmar, right? It's an exception-based game. You move models across the ground. Unless you have flying, then you get to break that rule. You can go over, right? You can't run and then charge. Unless you have a rule that says you can, and then you get to run and charge. Like, these are exceptions to the core rules. And then you come in with a band-aid because you're too lazy to change 7 war scrolls or a spell or 2 spells or something. And you're like, well, actually, nobody can do this. And little rule no longer beats big rule. And by that I mean specific no longer beats general. In this one case, you can't. And that's a little messy. Anyway, I think that's probably all water under the bridge for the most part. Now that they've done the full ground up, they've had a look at all the war scrolls in the whole game. Matt Rose finally has the grippers in control, you know? Instead of just being in charge of balance and having to stay in his lane, and he has only so much latitude with this and that. They got a new guy who seems to be, I keep hyping him up, so if he I'm kind of palpable or liable now if something happens, but he seemed like a reasonably good game designer from my talks and seeing with him anyway. Seems to be in charge of stuff. Was there for the whole 4th edition, was there for all the War Scroll rewrites, was there for all the indexes, battle tomes for 4th. I look forward to seeing what everything looks like once he's kind of in charge. Dry Hat, thanks for the tier 1, appreciate it. TYVM. So you're kind of disappointed all the defense is still +1 armor instead of changing it to -1 to be hit? Oh, is it? Okay. That was one of the things. I was hoping we would have less save stacking somehow. Because a common complaint here, I'll get to the talking about my hopium for these rules, and then we'll do the content stuff, right? One of my hopiums was a reduction in the save stacking of 3rd edition. And the number you could stack to wasn't necessarily the problem. Because in 2nd edition, and especially 1st, you could save stack way crazier. There was no limit. None of this, oh, you can only be 1 better than start. No, you could go to a 1-up. You could go to a -5 save or whatever. You know, it was crazy. But you had to guess what it was going to be and only put it on that one thing. The problem with 3rd was that every single turn, the most important target you were fighting always had +1 to save, no matter what. No matter where it was, no matter what you did, moved around, what you chose, there was no guesswork. It was just, oh, is this the most important fight? This one right here? All right, +1 save every time, right? And then Mystic Shield stacked with it and blah, 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 a bunch of other stuff. And because of that, it made Rend kind of like whatever, unless your Rend was crazy, which further spread the difference between Mortal Wounds and Rend. A common complaint I have heard in Age of Sigmar is that there's too many Mortal Wounds and Mortal Wounds are too good. I disagree. I think the actual problem is it's Mortal Wounds or nothing, because Rend is like whatever, they're gonna have a 2-up anyway. I think the real problem is that Rend wasn't good enough, so you had to choose Mortal Wounds. And it wasn't even necessarily that Rend was too good, it was that all out defense was too good. Just a bunch of dominoes, I guess. There's less save stacking, no more finest hour, interesting. Dry Hat, thanks for the faction focus video, got me into the game last year. Hey, I'm glad you liked my stuff and found it useful, I appreciate that. Matt Rowe's gonna keep throwing BCR good rolls, so you'll keep shooting his face onto bodybuilders. Yeah. I didn't talk to him about that. I didn't talk to him about my army that I played or anything. Didn't feel it was worth it. Also, can you imagine like talking to the game designer and then being like, yo, buff ogres though? What is that gonna accomplish? He knew. Okay. My hopium for these rules that we're about to read. One of my big hopiums was we've already proved that. We read it last time. I hope Battle Shock is gone. I hope Bravery and Battle Shock are just gone. excised. Get out of here. And not replaced with anything. That was one of my early hopes way back when we were talking about, Hopium for 4th edition like 6 months ago. I'm like, I hope in the ideal world they would get rid of Battle Shock and Bravery and not replace them with anything. And they did. I can't believe it. We read it last time on the rules section. They did. Matt Rose, fucking based. I don't think Bravery really as a mechanic needs... I don't know that it serves much of a purpose in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. Bravery, wondering if your troops follow your orders or not, how brave or cowardly they are if they're running away, what happens when they flee from a battle, can you overrun them? That kind of stuff to me feels like it fits in a more simulation style war game. Historical, or just more of a simulation kind of thing. The Microsoft Flight Simulator of war games. I'm trying to play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. For the old guys. Star Fox 64 for the other old guys. Hold up, I could do this. What's a flying game the kids play nowadays? TikTok? Anyway, point is, AoS is more mythical, heroic, streamlined, also in AoS, on purpose, it's a pretty deadly game. You just die. That's what happens. If your guys get fucked up, you just die. That's fine, right? No big deal. Probably Ace Combat. All right, there it is. Ace Combat. Yeah, the year is 1993. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter just came out. Actually, it came out in, I think, 94. 94 or 5. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter wasn't a 93 jam, I don't think. Oh, somebody says War Thunder, maybe. The Logitech Wingman joystick? Hell yeah, brother. Anyway, so one of the things I was hoping for 4th, they have already done. Let's go. The other thing I'm hoping for is Unleash Hell, gone. I think fundamentally Unleash Hell is a shooting sci-fi World War II, like modern firearm sort of rule. When it's put into a fantasy setting, I don't know that it quite fits to me. In exchange for this nerf, you can snipe heroes again. How about that? Are we even? So yeah, Unleash Hell gone. I was hoping for that. I don't like Rally. I think it steps on the toes of undead armies and makes them less special. I don't dislike Rally necessarily for a game design reason. It's just... Hey, we're trying not to get spoiled. Let's get into the rules. Yeah, true. Let's just click on it. Let's just fucking click on it. If they wanted to keep Unleash Hell, you would like to see Countercharge. Why should ranged be the only ones with a reaction? I think neither. Really. Then again, we have moved towards giving people more things to do on the other person's turn, right? And so they're probably going to continue with that, I suppose. Tabergudu, I think, for the TPN. Fucking Pippa shit. Taberguda, thanks for the tier 1. And Jim Brewer Shop, bro. Thanks for the Prime Gaming. Almost 2 years. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the Prime and the Lurkin. Some of these names I'm like not recognizing, so they're lurkers, but I appreciate your appreciation anyway. But consider HeyWoah impact wounds with your stone horns on your opponent's turn. Right, but this is the rules of the whole game we're talking about. To me, I'm able to differentiate between it would be cool for me, but also I care more about whether it's good for the game. I'm kind of like that. Anyway, it's time. It's time. I'm gonna cut to commercial. Thanks for a word from our sponsors.
Hello there. I'm Mr. Cream.
AC Penny. When it fits, you feel it.
Once you pop,
The cream.
don't stop.
If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Deliciously hot, dangerously creamy.
The juice is loose.
She wanted to remember the love they shared for
Cream.
Sometimes you feel like a
Stuffed 5 ways.
So my family's looking for beef.
Now, that's what I call
Cream, yeah.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough.
And I am the cream.
Then why do we call it big? Because big things go into it.
at the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna cream.
I guarantee it.
So my family's looking for beef. All right, we back. I'm gonna put on some little background music. Bedtime listening. First one, April 10. I actually cut off my hopium. I was gonna talk for another 20 minutes about what I hope they do. I can't wait. This is me excited. This is about as excited as I can fucking get. Anyway, react to your opponent with powerful new commands in new AoS. I heard a little bit about this. Pure athlete, yeah. Yeah. Alongside enhance. Alongside war scrolls in the priority role. Issuing commands for units to react in your opponent's turn is one of the key features of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. These have received a lethal overhaul in the new edition in the shape of the Commands Rules module. Oh, again with the module stuff, huh? Point of order, I don't give a shit about any of this modular stuff because in general, we're just going to play with all of it. However, I don't think it's like a mistake or anything. I just don't care. Command points. As we hinted to previously, command points are a tightly controlled resource. Each player gets HeyWoah. Command points at the start of the battle round. Okay, battle round. To spend over the course of that entire round. Oh shit. Squirrels gotta hide their nuts for the whole winter. That was not a good... that was not a good quip. Dude, streaming is hard sometimes. Chill. But there are 10 commandments to issue. Any command points you haven't spent by the end of the battle round are gone forever. No rollover minutes. Once again, for the millennials, sorry, that's an old reference about cell phones. So there's no way of hoarding them. Okay. Any hoarders, get out of here. Okay. So you get 4 per battle round, 2 per turn, if you will. That's what, half what we get now? Ish. Kind of depends on what army, if you're rolling a 4-up or not, who's going for, I guess it's a little less. But you get them right away, and if you get them right away, you kind of want to spend them, right? So that'll be skill testing a little bit. Nice. Any command, any ability with a command point coust. Oh, it's this thing. Okay, cool. Is a command. Look, somebody's probably going to make this comparison. They probably did because this article came out 2 days ago. That Age of Sigmar is stealing a bunch of Magic the Gathering rules. Good. The rules are good. It's okay. You can steal them. As far as I'm aware, I don't believe you can legally copyright rules anyway. And they're good, so good work. We have a mana cost now. Each player gains 4 command points at the start of each battle round, okay? The Underdog gains 1 extra command point. Oh, good, okay. One of my concerns when I learned about the Underdog mechanic was my concern, while I could see the nightmare scenario, was the optimal way to play was to purposefully be just barely losing at all times so that you were the underdog and could slingshot or something, and that was just like the way you were supposed. I don't want that. I saw it to the worst possible future. You know how 40k is like the worst future where humans are even still alive, you know? That was what I was hoping wouldn't be the case. But if you just get one extra command point, fucking fine. Alright. And underdog just means you're behind on victory points. Alright. Are you gonna be down a victory point to be up a command point on purpose? Probably not. I don't know how strong the commands are. Maybe the commands are crazy powerful or something, but still, it doesn't seem to be the case. And also it happens each battle round. Right? The worst world is that there's an underdog mechanic that unlocks like once a game and you get to do some bullshit. At least this is every battle round. Good. Okay. Alright. We dodged our first laser beam doing gymnastics into the bank vault on this one. Each unit can only use one command in each phase. Sure. Fair. It's kind of how it is right now. Each command can only be used one time by each army in each phase. Sure. Again, kind of how it is. You must pay the command point cost to use a command. I mean, they gotta write it somewhere, right? It's the most obvious thing ever. You have to pay the cost to get the thing, cost and effect, but technically you gotta write that somewhere so that your rules are like a computer program, so I'm not gonna make fun of them for it. You actually do need to write a wizard has the wizard keyword or something somewhere, right? Anyway, the army composition module may also affect your... Can we please not call it the CP economy? I will continue to type out command point every time I tweet about this fucking game. If you start with fewer auxiliary units than your opponent, you earn one extra command point per battle round. Fewer auxiliary units than your opponent. Correct me if I'm wrong. The person with fewer auxiliary units, in general, gets to choose who goes first in the game. Am I mistaken or not? Like, if you have fewer auxiliary units, you probably have fewer drops. They're pretty linked. Well, maybe not always. Maybe that's not always the case. Maybe it's one of those in general sort of things. But to me, choosing who goes first is so strong. Why would they give you an extra benefit for it? I think if you don't get to choose who goes first, you are in fact the one that should get the extra command point. But that's different than number of auxiliary units. I suppose you could have like 7 battalions or something and no auxiliary units, but be outdropped by somebody else. So I guess it's like, it's possible. Yeah, you might have 1 auxiliary unit and 1 drop besides, and somebody else has like 6 drops but no auxiliary or something. Max regiment amount is 5. Okay, then 5. Fair enough. Yeah, so there is technically a difference. Anyway, that's kind of weird. I'm reserving judgment in any case. GW is telling us we're letting you take auxiliaries, but if you're playing seriously, you won't take them. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Auxiliary units in a vacuum are terrible because they hurt your ability to choose who goes first, which is a very important thing in the game. And so either auxiliary units are going to be overpowered to compensate, or they're going to be just luck of the draw, not included in a battalion, and you suck randomly. Eat shit. I don't know, we'll see. You know, you can't invent too much narrative shit in your head until you actually read what things are and do, right? And we don't know everything yet. So what if both players have the same number of auxiliary units? Well, let's read. If you start with fewer auxiliary units than your opponent, you don't. You have even, right? You have the same. You earn 1 extra command point. Well, then you don't earn a command point. Nobody does. Because among those two players, no one has fewer than each other, so no one gets a command point. Right? Is how I read that, anyway. Finally, the Underdog can harvest 1 extra command point each round. That's the player with fewer victory points at the start of the round. That's round, not turn. Okay. This provides a powerful catch-up mechanic, ensuring that games remain closely fought. Due to the sketch, no doubt. And we'll see. I don't think I'm exactly pressing X to doubt or anything. It's just like, all right, well, you say that. Can't know until you look, and so I don't disbelieve it. Your pool of command points is an incredibly precious resource, as there are no abilities in the game that can generate additional points. We read this sentence in a different one before. And the conclusion we came to between me and the chat was, how long will it take for them to print something that basically gives you an additional command point? And it was the first book, like the first book they make. But that was old Games Workshop. This is Matt Rose's inflatable bouncy house castle at the fair, right? At the state fair. Maybe he will rule with an iron fist. We'll see. Are there stuff that will make command points free, though? To me, that's the same. It's the same as giving you an additional one. In that, it's going to qualify for me making fun of them a little bit. It's not the same, but it's the same enough that I'd take the piss a little bit. Units and factions, such as the Disciplined Osiark Bone Reapers, which previously relied on shitloads of command points, can look forward to powerful new mechanics to compensate. Stay tuned for more info. Good, because, I'm glad they mentioned this. Because Osiark Bone Reapers, out of all the armies in the game, have a special history of inventing a cool, unique rule, and then the core rules come down from the sky and just, grab it, throw it like candy in a parade, and everybody gets it. Everyone gets your special rule in the whole fucking game, and what do you get in response? You get to wait 2 years for your book. While you're giving up things to get what everyone just has magically now. The Claw. It's the Claw. Now, Ogres have a little bit of that too, but it hasn't been as bad as Osiark Bone Reapers. It just hasn't. So I'm glad they specifically mentioned this, and they're like, look, we know. But Sheriff Rose is in town. Or some shit, I don't know. I keep building this guy up, and I don't mean to. To be fair, the OBR book slapped. It did. It was sweet. It was pretty interesting. Ahem. What's more, the restrictions on who can issue commands are gone. Big. Needing to use generals, totems, heroes, unit champions, elite units. Thing of the past.
Please clap.
Okay. Does this mean I don't have to... Does this mean we're not, measuring 9 inches and being both within 6 inches of this thing and 8 inches of that thing in a Venn diagram anymore? Because that'd save a lot of time. It would reduce some skill testing in the game, but admittedly kind of annoying skill testing. Matt, Rose, Mark, Rosewater, M.R. Might be onto something. I definitely didn't mean to hit that button on the stream deck, but I did, and keep your head down. We're rolling with it. This makes using commands clear and concise, while retaining the tough choice of when to use your core offensive and defensive abilities. Okay. Yeah, that was my mind being blown. It was philosophical, right? Reactions. Wait, so restrictions on who can issue are gone. Needing to use blah blah blah. Alright. Good. This means that I can finally issue commands with my own elite 300-point monster units ridden by 2 elite ogres. I can finally issue commands with them. Maybe. Oh, it has been so fucking annoying not being able to. When even a pack of decaying, mangy, wild dogs could issue each other commands in SBGL. But 2 elite ogres riding a monster, just can't do it. Anyway. Good. Good. They listened, so now troops can listen, right? Anyway, reactions. As we've seen, everything in the new edition is an ability, including commands, which all have clear timings showing which phase they're used in. Awesome. You'll love to see it. Great work. This is up there with rules bold. It's actually better, in fact. All these commands are found in the command module, so no more hunting around to find them. What? The commands used to be in the core rules. Now they're in a command module. You have to do the same amount of stuff to find them. Just look in place. I don't know. I mean... Oh, they probably mean... core rules, special commands versus like your army commands? Surely they're not printing all the individual army commands in the command module. Maybe they are. That'd be a long list then. I don't know what they mean by this, but I guess maybe this means that we're putting command abilities back on the war scroll. In third, the commands were separated by phase, so they're just going to be a pile now. Oh, okay. So they're just talking about before you had shooting phase and then 2 commands and then charge phase and 2 commands. Now it's just like, here's the command page. Okay. All right. I thought there was like where they were printed or something, but they just mean it's organized, how it's organized in the core rules. Okay. Sure. In that case, sure. For the 10 commandments are reaction abilities, which are used once you have declared an ability but before the effect is resolved, bolstering that effect. Oh damn, we're using the stack. Magic the Gathering has entered the chat at last. Great work. Just steal their shit. Using abilities. The timing of an ability tells you when it can be used. Great. When using an ability, follow these steps, and this is everything. And remember, abilities are everything in the whole game. Nice and simple. 1, 2, 3. Declare the ability. Tell your opponent which ability is being used. If the ability has declare instructions, resolve them at this step. I assume paying a cost is part of declaring. It'll probably tell me in the declare section, right? So, okay. Number 2, use reactions, starting with the active player. Ooh, you can respond to your stealth. It's just a stack. Let's go. The players alternate using any abilities with an appropriate reaction timing. Let's go. Resolve the effect, following the instructions in the effect part of the ability. Instant speed. In response. Resp. In response. Mana drain that. Stifle. Got him. Oh. First in, last out. Perfect. Let's go. Also, a lot of people play Magic, so this translates pretty well. I'm gonna tap my Thunder Tusk. You have to discard 2 cards. All out attack and all out defense are familiar from previous editions, becoming reactions which occur once an attack has been declared. Yeah, this fits right in. It slides right into how you play the game. They have simple effects, making your chosen unit better on the offense or defense. All out attack used by the unit using that attack ability. Reaction, you declared an attack ability. Okay, yeah, and it's that which attack ability? That one. How much does it cost? 1 command point right there, upper right. 1 colorless. Rally, I dredge back some dudes. Yeah, I'll dredge 5. Put Stinkweed Imp in my hand. Effect, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made as part of that attack ability. This also affects weapons that have the companion weapon ability. Oh. Little reminder text here. Good. I always thought it was weird that they singled out, ooh, the mount can't do this, the companions can't do that. Leftover Band-Aid from 1st edition Battle Brew, to be perfectly honest with you. Agree. Let the little fish friends on Wave Chad's base get a +1 to hit, who cares? All defense, still +1 to saves, very sad to see that. Shit. At least these points are more precious now, I guess, but, damn. It's unfortunate that we're getting another edition of, hey, those guys have a 3-up save. And you know what a 3-up save is? A 3-up save is a 2-up save. Alright. At least the points are more precious. Perhaps all the other stuff isn't there anymore, blah, blah, blah. There's almost no real huge inference I could make without seeing everything, right? So, you can't. Even though I don't like all-out defense as it currently works, and it conceivably hasn't changed, there could be all sorts of other stuff that makes it different, so I reserve the judgment. I'm not about to say it's wrong or bad or anything like that. Yeah, we don't know how it'll work. We don't know what all the other abilities do. They might cap it harder. They might do this. They might do that. We don't know yet. Add the double and Fort of Victory are equally simple, allowing you to get your troops exactly where they need to be. It's everywhere you need to be, I guess. Move in charge phase. Opponent declared an attack ability. A unit targeted by that attack ability, okay. I'm just getting a feel for reading this thing up here now. Costs 1. Reaction. You declared a run ability. Okay, so you say you're going to run. Effect, do not make a run roll as part of the run ability. Instead, add 6 to the move, and determine the distance that each model can move as part of that run. Okay, and this is before you roll. What this tells me is that rolling is not part of the declare, but part of the effect. And it means you have to predict. At the double used to be a lot better because you could roll first and see if you needed to use it, and they made it worse by having you just burn it if you needed that 6. I see they've kept that, which I think is probably fair. At the double is still very good and used all the time, especially late game to get onto objectives and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily think it like needed to get buffed back to how it used to be or anything. CGO Buzz, though, thanks for the 20 man. New headphones arrived. $5.99s, Turbo Edition, super crisp. Hey, please enjoy. I've used mine for, 4 years. Still work perfectly. I'm very happy with them. I hope you are as well. Yeah, old mate Sennheiser. Ahem. Given this is +6 to move, does this mean you still ran, or can you run and charge off this? Well, let's see. Do not make a run roll as part of that run ability. As part of that run ability. You are still using a run ability. It's just you're not rolling. So I would say you certainly have still ran. It is a They keep using the word runability over and over. So yeah. I would say you for sure have ran. Reaction, you declared a charge ability. You can re-roll the charge roll. Ooh. The unit using the charge ability. Wait, so... Do I have to choose forward to victory before I roll my charge roll? You gotta call it? Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so they're doing to forward to victory what they long ago did to at the double. Unless, as part of the declare, you roll 2d6, which I suppose could be the same case. How much does this charge matter to you? Everything. It could be at any point during the action. No, it's at right when you declare it. So if you roll during the declared, then you're good, but if you roll afterwards, you're not. And it says you can re-roll the charge roll. We'll see. I'll have to see what the charge ability says. But I see how you guys are asking questions, and I know exactly what to look for in the charge ability to immediately just simply know the answer. That's what I like about it. Seems to be you're committing to the reroll first, which brutally hurts my army. But fair enough, I guess. That's a lot of feel bad though, you know? Forward to victory and then just pass. Okay, I wasted it. This one is going to waste a lot of command abilities, and it's a way to turn a successful roll into feeling bad about it, because you wasted a command point. Oh, I didn't need the roll after all. Well, fuck my command point, I guess. New commands. Commands, on the other hand, are more reactive. What do you mean? Commands are more reactive. We just looked at the reactive ones. 4 of the 10 commands are reaction abilities, and we looked at the 4. All-out attack, all-out defense, at the double, and forward. Those are the 4 reactions. And now they're like, commands, on the other hand, are more reactive. We just looked at the reactive ones. Could it be that you mean proactive? I bet this is a typo. They mean proactive. There are 6 new or revamped commands, which are used at the end of their respective phases once the active player has finished all of their actions. Oh good, we know exactly when you can use these. Nice. End of their respective phases once the active player has finished all of their actions, allowing you to respond with a counterpunch and stay on top of a giant... Okay, that's what they mean by reactive. They don't mean reaction, reactive. They mean tactics, reactive. I see, never mind. They probably didn't mean proactive in that case. Got it. At EOT, gonna overload Cyclonic Rift real quick. Just real quick. Rally now gives you a more flexible way of healing or returning models to your units. Sad. I didn't want Rally to come back. I was hoping the Death armies and maybe Sylvaneth would exclusively have this cool, flavorful thing. Didn't make sense to me that you're bringing back humans to life because you gave them a speech. But all right. Whole game's different, so we don't know what the effects will be. And just one more thing. Yeah, exactly. The scaling is improved. You can no longer get lucky on the dice to bring back 2 full Stormdrake guards. I mean, that's probably for the best, but it was funny when it happened. This is also a good example of how some of the functionality that used to be part of heroic actions, in this case, heroic recovery, has been incorporated into other abilities to avoid 2 separate systems. Big. Big, dude, big. Big jupes. Huge. I like it. Love it. Good work. Yes. Nice. Any hero phase. Yo. How nice. They let you know, hey, right up top, any hero phase, your hero phase, enemy hero phase. Let's go. Costs 1 colorless. You think this is 1 generic or 1 colorless? Like from artifact mana. I think it's 1 generic. The real Janet Homo Sapien, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. With an inspiring call to action, wounded soldiers get a second wind and fresh troops take to the field to replace their fallen comrades. Hey, fresh troops? Okay. Hey, sorry I blew up. You got an explanation right there. Fresh troops take to the field. Got it. No big deal. I'm just thinking like, before you got your head cut off, you died. The rules text was died, slain, you know, destroyed. And then you came back to life because your commander's like, get up, man. Oh, okay. Put your head back on, right? Anyway, this is fine. Just, you know, that's probably what they meant anyway. Declare. Pick a friendly unit that is not in combat. Look at this rules bold text. To use this ability. Friendly unit, not in combat. Any hero phase. It's a command point, though. It's a command point. You only get 4 of those. Make 6 rally rolls of d6 for each 4-up. You receive 1 rally point. Okay, so you get 3-ish. Rally points can be spent in the following ways. 1 for each rally point spent, heal 1. And you have to choose the unit before you make your rolls, which is kind of important. Spend any number of rally points to heal equal to the health characteristic of that unit to return a slain model. You can spend a number of rally points equal to the health characteristic of that unit to return a slain model to the unit. That's just 1, right? As it's written here. So if you have Moon Clan Grots that have 1 wound, and you roll 6 1s, or 6 6s, you still just return a slain model. Otherwise, it would say you can spend a number of rally points equal to the health characteristic of that unit to return a slain model to that unit for each, you know, it would say like for each or something, right? Return a number of equal to or something. You can spend the rally points in any combination of the above. Unspent rally points are then lost. In any combination of the above, but can you choose the same one twice? It's not a combination, technically. So you can do 1 of one, 1 of another. Can be spent in the following ways. I think you can do these more than once. It doesn't make much sense for them not to let you do this more than once, right? Surely you can do this a bunch of times. I'm reading it too much like Magic, I think, and that's a mistake. You're reading too much? Yeah, I think I'm reading too magically with this one. Because clearly you're supposed to be able to heal more than 1 total, right? Ahem. They magicked too close to the sun. Yeah, I'm convinced that you can do each. You can choose these more than once. I'm perhaps just too magic brained to figure it out. Any combination of the above, there are just 2 combinations, nothing else. Well, there's 3 possible combinations. Just the top one, just the bottom, or 1 of each, right?
Twitch Prime.
Technically. But that's not what they mean. I think we know what they mean. It's like I hold an apple out and a banana, and I'm like, you can pick these in any combination. You don't grab them and suddenly have 6 bananas, right? Anyway. Doesn't matter. We know what they mean. It's fine. I'm too magicked on this one. Anyway, let's talk about the ability itself, though. Allotech. Thanks for the big prime. I appreciate it. Onwards to 4th. Yeah, true. So what you do is receive 1 rally point. Rally points can be spent in the following ways. Hold on. Now, let me ask you a follow-up question. Okay? You make 6 rally rolls at D6. For each 4-up, you receive a rally point. Do those go away? Can I just chill with 4 rally points? And the next turn, make a rally roll. Ooh, 3 rally points. Now I have 7. And just chill? Oh, unspent rally points are then lost. Sad. They thought of it. Good. I gotta read the whole thing before I start talking more often, right? Still kind of neat, like thinking about playing the game and you and your opponent are just like making rally rolls and just hoarding this giant like spirit bomb waiting to heal something. Anyway, so what is this? This is, as long as you're not in combat, you can generally heal 3, you know, to your hero, or return something, possibly even 2 guys or 3 guys. Not bad. The reading comprehension, Devil Strikes Again. Oh, it's not reading comprehension. I just hadn't yet gotten to the bottom. I'm like talking my way through it, you know. So, enemy movement phase. Redeploy. Ooh, redeploy sticks around for a command point. Taking initiative, the warriors hastily reposition to respond to enemy movements. Pick a friendly unit that is not in combat to use this ability. Okay. Each model in that unit can move up to... Ooh, it's still a D6, huh? That move cannot pass through or end within the combat range of an enemy unit. Okay. So you redeploy at the end of the phase now. No more like cutting off a lane. You can cut off a charge lane, just not a move lane, necessarily. And it's still a D6, which is a big risk. Heavy risk. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Dragon 240. You pick a unit that's not in combat. Just anywhere. Oh, yeah, 40 inches that way. Not near anything, nobody moved near it. Just moves D6. If you really need to... This is like... I'm thinking about turn 4 and 5. Where it starts to become like, ooh, this guy can't get all the way over there, so I can't score that point, you know? If you really need extra, just pure movement, you could do this. Kind of interesting. Can you use it between enemy moves? No, you cannot. As per up here. End of the respective phase once the active player has finished all of their actions, so no more body blocking movement. You can still body block a charge, perhaps, later, but not the movement. You can move a wizard out of unbind range. Well, not because it's the movement phase, no. But, maybe you mean setting up for next turn, or actually, maybe there's spells you cast in combat now. I guess, I don't know. They could change a whole lot of stuff, so maybe we'll keep an eye out for that. Redeploy is also back, but you'll now have to wait until your opponent has moved all their units before using it, sure. Yeah, being able to use any unit anywhere, or being able to move any unit anywhere, big. Kinda nice. And I think this is gonna... The fact that you use this at the end of turn is actually going to speed things up, because your opponent isn't going to agonize about the importance of which unit he moves first anymore. He just does all his movement, and then it's your turn. So it's think time, but it's reducing think time. Think time sounds like a Bushism. Covering fire enables shooting units to exert pressure, replacing an old favorite, Unleash Hell. You son of a bitch. Old favorite. Universally despised. Unleash Hell. Good meme and good bait, whoever wrote this. The new hotness in the charge phase is the powerful Countercharge ability. Oh. Which costs 2 command points. God, they got me. And allows for brutal interceptions. Cavalry units in particular revel in this ability. Stonehorn units in particular revel in this ability. Any units that trigger abilities on the charge can become exceptionally powerful when used correctly. We'll just erase that. When used, period. Alright. Enemy shooting phase. Okay, enemy shooting phase. So it's after you move. It's not during a charge or anything. It's enemy shooting phase. Got it. For 1 command, pick a friendly unit that is not in combat to use this ability. Not in combat, okay. But it happens before charges. So we're letting ranged units just shoot every turn. We're doubling the damage, potentially. Potentially doubling the damage of every good ranged unit in the game, albeit for a command point, is a scary proposition. Because almost every single time they have doubled the damage by letting you shoot twice for a shooting unit, it has eventually needed to get nerfed. Sometimes more than once. This has a history of being problematic. Maybe command points are precious enough. We'll just have to see. I'm concerned. And now there's just... you don't play around it. With Unleash Hell, I could play around it. I still complained about Unleash Hell for other armies' sake. I was able to play around it because I have cheaty face Beastclaw Raider rules. They get the cheat. And half the time I get to play around Unleash Hell. This shit just shoots ya. It just shoots ya. Resolve shooting attacks for that unit, but all the range attacks must target the nearest visible enemy unit. Oh, okay. There's our play around it. Which, I'm going to be honest, most of the time you're probably not going to be able to play around it anyway. It's like phantom play around it, in my opinion, a lot of the time. But technically, it does exist. And you must subtract 1 from the hit rolls for those attacks, which we'll see how bad of a downside that is. We'll just have to see. G-Well, thanks for $5. I think the idea for commands is they expect you to save them so you can do all these actions on your opponent's turn rather than saving for your turn. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I quite agree. It'd be nice to see an example of a shooting unit like Bliss Barbs or Sentinels to get an idea of the bar for shooting output. True. I mean, we will in the coming weeks, right? But you definitely should read it all. Yeah, but I like to react per line because sometimes I'm like, oh shit, what if they do this? And then the very next sentence is, you can't do exactly that. Maybe to some people it's like, HeyWoah's jumping the gun. I think that's like a good thing when that happens because it's illustrating that the rules writers thought of that and then put something in place so that stupid thing isn't true, you know? Maybe the reading comprehension stuff is a meme, but like that's like why I'm doing it that way. Is because when you read the line, you're like, oh, what if they could do this crazy thing? And then the very next thing, it's like, Matt Rose thought of it. And you're like, good, yeah. Because, you know, they could have done that, and it was nice to, I don't know, that was my intent anyway. Bow Snake covering fire, next turn, Bow Snake command phase shooting, Bow Snake shooting phase. Ah! Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. At least a little skill expression by limiting it to the closest viable. Yeah, rest in peace, Forgotten Nightmares, kind of. That's a exaggeration. They still have that probably for everything, not just covering fire. But yeah, a little bit of Forgotten Nightmares from IDK here. Remember that they're shortening the range on shooting units, true. I think if you shorten the range on shooting units, you essentially end up breaking even for making the table smaller, last edition anyhow, but... God, you hope the game doesn't evolve into cowering behind huts like in 40k? Same. I hope they let monsters just trample over terrain. Please. Enemy charge phase, countercharge. 2. The only command in the game that costs 2 is the one for me, huh? Well, it is actually pretty fucking good, though, so okay. Pick a friendly unit that's not in combat, just straight up. That unit can use a charge ability as if it were your charge phase. Hey, we're using magic lingo as if it were your charge phase. Let go. This isn't a real complaint about the costing 2. Even if you're not using stone horns, this is big. This is big. Countercharge is as close as they've ever come, I think, to letting you play on your opponent's turn, almost. Covering fire to a much lesser degree. Cross counter. Yeah. Shadow counter. Dude, that's sick. You actually get combo breakered, like they thought they were safe. Kind of interesting. Didn't Nurgle have something like that? It was called Blightkrieg, and it was with the Glotkin, yes. I think Ironjawz had something like it as well, but it was in a different phase. This is cool. Kind of nice. So we get 4 command abilities a turn, right? Well, I know what I'm spending 2 of them on every turn forever. Apparently, can you believe they're only giving you 2 command abilities a battle round? Or command points a battle round? Because I'm using Countercharge every battle round. It's weird that they only give you 2. Because that's what I'm going to have left over. Damn, that's kind of nice. I wonder when monster actions work now. I wonder when those things happen. I saw that run-through thing. That's end of combat now. Yeah, the countercharge tax. What monster actions? Yeah, I wonder what they've done with them. I wonder what kind of thing is happening. Yeah, Nagash Rampage was at the end of the entire turn. So I guess we'll just have to see. You've done math. You can get a max 6 command points a battle round, barring some other shenanigans. So you get 4. You get 1 for being the underdog. Where's the other one coming from? Having more auxiliary, I suppose. Hold on. Is that every or just the first? This is important. Start of each battle round, underdog, each unit can only use 1, each command, blah blah. If you start with 2 auxiliary units, you earn 1 per battle round. Okay. Not just at the beginning. Every round. That's kind of a big deal. You can get 6 every battle round, although who's the underdog is kind of like, you know. So you literally never take an auxiliary units might as well be called legends. I am overreacting, right? But I guess look, there's a lot of other stuff we have to see. But as I'm reading this right now, auxiliary units might as well be in the old world. Maybe they're the shit. They're just so good. That's the trade-off. Auxiliary units are just the units in your army that are OP. You just pay a cost for using them. That's probably it, right? Stonehorn's auxiliary. Please, no. No. Magical intervention permits the reacting player to cast a spell or chant a prayer in their opponent's turn, allowing for powerful counterplay or counter prey. Alright. Note that prayers have seen substantial changes to differentiate them from magic in this edition. Oh, word? Okay. We'll beseech the powers that be and talk about these divine changes in due course. Okay. word, counter prey. I hope they call it counter prey in the rules. It's gonna make like the dyslexic people fucking suffer, actually. That's almost too bad. I kind of don't hope they do that anymore. Allies will be auxiliary. You know, that makes sense. Massimo Roli. Big Tom. Good name, Big Tom. Yeah, maybe allies and Gotrek and stuff are auxiliary. In which case, no one ever uses auxiliary units, just period. And then nobody gets extra command points and that's it, you know? That would be a way of kind of making allies non-existent. I don't know, we'll see. Enemy hero phase, magical intervention. A warrior learned in the mystical arts utters a rapid incantation to disrupt the enemy's plans. Declare. Pick a friendly wizard or priest to use this ability. Oh, wizards and priests just straight up now. That friendly unit can use a spell or prayer ability as appropriate as if it were your hero phase. If you do so, subtract 1 from casting rolls or chanting rolls made as part of that ability. Okay. Do things last until your next hero phase still? I wonder about that. How long do spells last now? What if every spell just lasts until the end of turn, not your next hero phase? Interesting. Cost 1. Nice. G-Wall, thanks $2. With such good CA, the command point meta has... Yeah, the command point meta has come. Unleash spell, that's funny. That's a funny name. Finally, Power Through is activated at the end of any turn, pardon me. Power Through. I saw this one. This is one I've seen. Letting rampaging monsters and barreling chariots smash through infantry or scatter cavalry, dealing damage and moving through the unit, opening up new positioning opportunities, new possibility space, new play literacy. Rob the Honest Wargamer made a good point. You could cast a spell with this, buff a unit, and then countercharge the buffed unit all in your opponent's turn. Yeah. Yeah, you can use 3 of these. Damn, I thought you were gonna come at me with something like a... Anyway. Yeah, true. That's cool. You can burn through all your points, set up for a big turn. That's cool. Sorry, the first half of your message, it tricked me. I thought there was going to be, like I misread something and there was a secret thing, but you're like, you could just use 3 of these in different phases. Like, yep. Anyway, hey, good comment anyway. I was putting something into it that didn't belong. Isn't there a limit on how many phase you can use? Yeah, but one is a hero phase, one is a charge phase, and then one is something else, right? So. Power Through. Declare. Pick a friendly unit to charge this turn to use this ability. Then you must pick an enemy unit in combat with it to be the target. The target must have a lower health characteristic than the unit using this ability. Effect. Inflict D3 mortal damage. Oh, we don't call them mortal wounds anymore, which is nice because we had kind of too many wounds. Just the word. Mortal damage. Then the unit uses the ability can move a distance up to its move characteristic. Stealing my ogre abilities for everyone in the game. But it is at the end of the turn, so it's way, way, way worse than overwhelming charge, which I guess is fine. You can pass through. It can pass through and end that move within the combat ranges of enemy units that were in combat with it at the start of the move. but not those of other enemy units. Okay, it's way worse. It's way worse. Never mind. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad that they stole an ogre ability, because it's way worse in a bunch of different ways. Alright, fair. That's fine. It does not have to end the move in combat. Oh, wait, never mind, it's better. Fuck. Ah. God damn it. Fuck. Don't even have to end in combat? Never mind, it's a lot better. Charge on their turn. Power through at the end of their turn. I'm out of combat. My turn. I'm out of combat with which to charge on my turn again. Ooh, yeah. I see. Multi-track drifting. Hey, imagine we keep overwhelming charge though. Probably won't, because I'm reading this here. We probably won't, but imagine. Charge, impact hits, fly over stuff, land in combat, fight, power through, fly over stuff, land out of combat. Kind of, you know, gas. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't say mounted, so your bloodthirsters can do this. Anyway, this is sick. As much, you know, I'm annoyed that they took an ogre rule and gave it to everybody. That being said, I'm gonna use it too, so cool. It looks like we're gonna be countercharging for 2. Gonna be maybe powering through for 1, which leaves 1 command point left. And that is going to be all-out defense. There's my 4. There's my 4 on the average battle round. That will change a lot, though. And by the way, you move 24 inches and are near the buffer, yeah. Yeah, kind of good for Gargants, too. It can pass through and end that move within the combat ranges of enemy units that were in combat with it at the start of that move. It's not fly over like the ogre one is. It's just pass through the combat ranges of. So it's not, strictly speaking, it's different from overwhelming charge in actually a bunch of ways. So anyway, interesting, man. Kind of interesting. Very thematic, flashy kind of rule. Many of these are. I'm liking what they're doing with this. Well, notably, almost nobody will be able to do this against me because I have 1,000,000 wounds per guy. Yeah, true. I'm not like terrifically concerned with, oh shit, somebody's gonna do something to me, I'm gonna lose the game or whatever. I'm trying to consider these for like the game, overall the game, like everybody else. That being said, I did just dip my toe into imagining how many monster trucks I get to jump over school buses if we keep whatever, you know. Yeah, Benjamin Pegler, I agree. It seems like GW has done a lot of work to make these command abilities all seem very tempting. So that you really have to actually make a choice and you're giving up not doing one to do another. And every time you have to make a meaningful choice, there's some good skill expression there. At least the chance for it. Does this mean you'll have to use burly stuff to screen? Is Chaff still good for it? Yeah, that's an implication. What do you guys think? Let's design a YouTube thumbnail out of it. Is Chaff dead? Question mark. Red text. Stock going down. Soy jack face. A circle around a Moon Clan. A Gloomspite Git with an arrow. Did you see it? If you were playing how you were like generally supposed to, you run 2 lines of Chaff. And so you still do now, who cares? You're crying on Goreface. GW dying? Small Chaff might still be good, but you'd have to be a few ranks deep so they don't have enough movement to get through it all, maybe. Oh, hold on. Pick a friendly unit to charge this turn that uses ability, then you must pick an enemy unit in combat with it. End of the turn. You charge in, you fight Chaff in the combat phase, all the Chaff dies, you can't power through. Because there are no enemies in combat with you. Chaff is still alive and well. Well, speed bump style Chaff that will always die to a man versus any hammer. Because they're dead. And so the hammer's no longer in combat, can't power through. Alright, marked safe. It's not that cut and dry, obviously. But, that is something to consider. And you can't fly over stuff, so you can still do things, right? Yeah, the double move is super powerful. You can expect other abilities in the game to alter the way that certain commands work or trigger them off in different interesting ways. For example, Storm Strike Chariots can double down KFC on this command with their Celestial Blase passive, triggering an additional D3 mortal damage and granting their Grief chargers an extra D6 inches to their movement. Double down. Merchia Memenia. Hey, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it for 3 months. The Adepticon summary video is sweet. Good times, good philosophies. Hey, thanks for enjoying it. Appreciate it, and thanks for showing up. So it looks like, I would guess, a big amount of design space has been, this is a unit, that unit wants to use power through. So if you use power through with this unit, power through is giga power through now, right? So they're like modifiers, essentially. Okay. That's not a bad thing. That's kind of interesting, man. Like, imagine some Dark Elf unit. When you use the redeploy command with this Dark Elf unit, treat the D6 roll as if it was a 6, right? When you use rally on these skeletons, you can make 12 rally rolls instead of 6 rally roll. Like, you can think of a million off the top of your head and just cast them onto any sort of war scroll you want. A Stonehorn Beast Rider, when you use Countercharge, it costs 1 instead of 2. Or when this KO ship uses covering fire, the people inside the ship can shoot 2 or whatever, right? Like, any number of anything. Kind of neat. I think that's a good idea and kind of cool. I like it. I like this. Damn, dude, I kind of like these rules that I'm reading. Let's look at more. Storm Strike Chariot. It must be a shaman. Again, we got the green save. 3 up. 10-inch move, 10 health to control. Great Storm Bow. Let's go. Is Storm Bow the opposite of Slam Bow? Does he have 2 hammers instead of 2 axes? Ring. Random number generator, 18 inches. 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1/1. Anti-infantry.
Please clap.
Nice. Anti-infantry, +1 rend. You look for the infantry keyword. Makes sense. Crit is 2 hits. Tells you, read the card. Explains the card. Charge, +1 damage. Great. Says it right on that weapon. You don't have to look down here for a big old paragraph. This thing's technically a companion. I don't know what those rules mean relevance-wise, but alright. Seen a bunch of 3s and 3s. Some 4s and 3s for the monster types. This is Stormcast, though, so the Stormcast profile is supposed to be 3311. Is that the average in the whole game, or are Stormcast above average now? I wonder. This is just so much better. This is so much better. My only complaint, and I echoed it last time, just for a graphic design, I want these column lines to go all the way up to section off the attack, hit, wound, rend, and damage here. It's the tiniest nitpick ever. And also, RND instead of rend is kind of awkward, but I guess everything has to be 3 words. Yeah, I like anti-infantry. We're going to get anti-cavalry maybe, anti-hero or something, anti-monster. You can imagine a whole bunch of stuff like that. Good. Good. 2 control on the chariot is insanely low. A chariot would be pretty shitty at controlling a house, you know? 5 liberators that set up camp inside and a night watch and stuff, probably better. I actually agree with this, in a sense. However, that's like a real Dungeons & Dragons, like LARPy answer to you. It's not like a mechanical answer, but it does make a little bit of sense, you know? This unit is armed with a Stormstrike Axe, Griff Charges, Razor Beaks, and one of the following options, Tempestuous Spear, or Great Storm. Oh, so we get one or the other. Okay. Okay. 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, 1 dam, or an 18-inch bow that has anti-infantry and crit 2 hits. Taking the bow dealer. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, attack, hit, wind, random number, random, and damage. I don't know. It's fine. You'll get used to it, right? You'll get used to it. Any charge phase. Azir Unleashed, the impact of the Stormstrike Chariot on the charge can obliterate even the most durable of shield walls. Declare, if this unit charged this phase, pick an enemy unit within 1 of it to be the target, okay? No cost. Roll a d3 on a 2-up. Inflict an amount of mortal wound. Sorry, I'm so used to saying mortal wounds. I've been saying mortal wounds for 8 years. Eventually, I'm gonna get used to saying mortal damage, but I got a lot of operant conditioning holding me back here. All right, mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. Oh, nice. Look, you only have to roll once. Elegant. 2-up on a d3y. So you only have to roll once. It's not roll 2-up, now I roll a d3. So on a 3-up, no, it's a d3. The possible outcomes on a d3 are 1, 2, and 3. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2, 2 mortal wounds. Mortal damage. On a 3, 3 mortal damage. That's it. Those are the only choices. A 2 on a d3 is a 3-up. A 2 on a d3 is 2, right? Because that's what a d3 is. If you're using a d6 to represent a d3, 2 is not a possible outcome, because 1 and 2 are 1. See what I mean? I don't think this is that complicated. You roll d3, and you do 2 or 3 mortal wounds, and on a 1, nothing happens. And I really like that you don't have to roll twice. They're streamlining this. They're thinking about it. No one's bringing D3 to AoS, though. I'm back. Let's see, got my I was just getting my bag that I play Age of Sigmar with. Oh. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, my 4 yellow D3s that I play with every time I play Age of Sigmar. Damn. Got it. Anyway, great comment. I appreciate it. I have a lot of D3 damage because I'm ogres. Anyway. Hey, well, off grabbing his bag of D3. Literally true. You got me. That was it. Anyway, I love this. I like how you don't have to roll twice. Simple and effective. Passive. Celestial Blase. When this unit uses... I like how it says passive. Cool. So it just like this affects some other thing. Nice. I'm glad we have passive things. Food at the door? No. Not quite. When this unit uses the power through command, inflict an additional D3 mortal damage to the target. And add D6 inches to the distance this unit can move as part of that ability. Because it's fucking blazing. You're blazing it. With this chariot, you're celestial blazing it. Cool. This unlocked a lot of design space to put on a lot of war scrolls. Very cool. Unironically very cool. Yeah, this thing is fucking wheeling. You're moving potentially 16. Potentially 16 after you run over somebody. That's funny. That's a good one. Somebody better custom paint their Stormstrike chariot with rat fink on the side of it. Just squealing. Also down here in keywords, War Machine. Order Stormcast Eternals, Warrior Chamber. War Machine is still in the game. Let's go. Cool. Man, this is sick. This is cool. You need the Sigmar chat emote on YouTube. I only unlocked 4 emotes because I started streaming on YouTube literally 1 month ago. And so it has to detect that 190 odd people tend to watch me, and then it'll unlock more emotes. And when it does, I'll give them to you. You know, we gotta wait. No big deal. But I agree. Yeah, his heart is bullshit blazing. Later this week, we'll be taking a look at how battle traits work. And what you can expect for battle formations. Oh, the replacement for sub-factions. Uncover more secrets of the new edition. Can I just click? What happens if I click? Oh, everything you need to know? And then it just takes me to this? Okay, I see it. Oh, $5. Here, Henya. Alright, next article. How battle traits and battle formations shape your army in new AoS. Should I use this hashtag? Seems like something I should use, right? The way you build your armies has changed. The world has changed. In the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and these changes can affect everything else in the game. From the priority roll to your command point economy, thanks for typing it out. You gotta type it out in full every time. We talked about regiments, individual heroes and their retinues of units, and now it's time to look at the primary rules that govern your army. Battle traits and battle formations. Let's go. Yeah, everything changed when the Fire Slayers attacked. Battle traits. Damn, look at Crazy. And what was the other guy's name? I know one of them is Crazy. Karan Diaz. That's it, Karan Diaz. These guys got chumped in the preliminaries of the tournament, but it's a new edition. Chill. Not everybody's supposed to be a duelist. Also, look at the fucking man right here. Striker Pentecost. Battle traits are a series of widespread abilities that are unique to your army. Some of these will feel similar to existing army rules, but they've all been tightened up and codified to work with the new ability system. Good. Bastion Truck Thalos. He has the keyword War Machine. Let's fucking go. For instance, the Stormcast Eternals have 4 different battle trait abilities. That's more than they used to have. That apply to the army as a whole. While heroic actions are gone, many of those ideas live on. Honestly, kinda good. I don't know that I really loved heroic action. Roll a die, see if you get 1 command point. I don't know. Best day ever was cool. I think you can just do this. Stuff just happens. Many of those ideas live on, and their finest hour continues to power up a Stormcast Eternals unit for a... Oh, okay, so best day ever is now Stormcast specific. Okay. Yeah, Meeps. Heroic action, like, they were cool at the time, but rolling for them was kind of awkward and they were undercooked, yeah. Once per turn, army your hero phase. Their finest hour. Stormcast Eternals are bastions of hope for the forces of order. In times of desperate need, each fighter does what is necessary to keep their enemies at bay. Sounds like a Dr. Samuel Hayden kind of thing. I believe we can work together and resolve this issue in a way that benefits us both. Declare, pick a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit that Excuse me? Not a hero. Pick a Stormcast Eternals absolute unit that has not used this ability this battle to use this ability. Oh shit, once per turn army. Your hero phase. For the rest of this turn. Oh, it's only during your turn. Okay. This doesn't affect the opponent's turn. Okay. I was gonna say. Add 1 to the wound rolls for that unit's combat attacks, not shooting, and add 1 to save rolls for that unit. Big. Their finest 15 minutes. Their 15 minutes of fame. Okay, well, it doesn't affect on your opponent's turn, so it's not, like, potentially maybe oppressive. Because if during my turn when I have to fight you, every single thing I ever fucking fight for the whole game, this one, now this one, now this one, now this one, just add +1, +1, +1, +1, that would be annoying. Yeah, it means on your turn, you get to clean sweep and they don't hit back. Also, you might actually kind of want stuff like this if your opponent is going to be charging you on your turn, so, or shooting you on your turn. So, I mean, it's a different game now. Signs of the Storm returns as a way to blast your gleaming silver warriors into the thick of battle. On Bolts of Lightning, and now applies to all Stormcast Eternals armies rather than needing to pick between, yeah, this thing and the Storm Keeps. Agree. As a movement phase ability, it's paired with a deployment ability called the Celestial Realm, allowing you to keep your units in the high Azir before battle. Cool. Deployment phase. Hey, look, it says the deployment phase. I didn't think they'd go so far as to do something like that. but good work. Nice. The Celestial Realm. In High Azir, the Stormcast Eternals await their call to deliver retribution. Declare. If there are more friendly Stormcast Eternal units on the battlefield than there are set up in reserve, pick a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit that has not been deployed. Set up that unit in reserve in the Celestial Realm. It has now been deployed. Okay. This is reasonable. Yeah, and it doesn't say any sort of limit. You just have to qualify for the declare. They did say everything is an ability, right? They just wrote the old way of doing it in a way that functions under the new system. How nice. Yeah, shiny and chrome. Yeah, before it was for each one on the field, you could place one up in heaven. And now it's if there's more on the field than there are, which ends up being about the same-ish, right? Anyway, nice. Keywords deploy. Cool. Your movement phase. Your. Signs of the Storm. Pick a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit that is in the Celestial Realm. Alright, set up that unit anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 from all enemy units. Easy. Your movement phase. Doesn't say end of your movement phase up here. Now, somewhere else, is it going to say at the start of the movement phase you immediately move everything and then you can use abilities? Because maybe that would do something. Which is why they wouldn't need to write can't move afterwards. There might be a core rule that says you can't move after setup. They wouldn't need to write such a rule Branimade. And they could save space. They could save space by not needing to write that, by having this work at the end of the movement phase. Or maybe what happens in the movement phase is you move everything, and then after you're done moving, you have priority to use abilities like Signs of the Storm. In which case, you wouldn't need to write that. I don't know. Or maybe you just land and then you can move right away. That seems really good, so probably not, but kind of interesting. Kind of interesting, man. Lonely Bolter, thanks to follow. Appreciate it. Some battle trait abilities may be commands with an associated cost, such as Heaven Sent. This powerful once per battle ability can return a destroyed unit to the battlefield at half strength, ready to smash aside the enemies of Sigmar once again. Yeah, I did feel that they, in general, I wanted a little bit of a reforging thing, ability-wise here, and not just one of the stupid holy commands, which were very half-baked, and they were essentially a pile of band-aids the size of a couch. The command abilities also just said enemy movement phase, I wish they said beginning or end. It's possible that in the core rules, you will know when you're able to use abilities, right? So that you wouldn't need to say beginning or end. But then again, the Nagash... Hold on. Sorry, I hit the mic. Nagash did say end of phase, right? No, he said end of turn. That's different. Okay. We just need to see more. Not sure. I'm gonna move on, assuming that you can use this multiple times, because it doesn't say you can't. And I'm gonna assume you probably can't move afterwards, because that sounds OP. And however they want to make that work, they probably did, you know? They clarified all the reaction command abilities were all end of their respective phase. Right, but that's all the reaction ones. This isn't a reaction. Anyway, I'm sure it probably ends up somehow working like that, right? Heaven Sent. Once per battle, your movement phase 1. More reinforcements are sent down from Azir. After you type in the code in Helldivers, let's go. Declare, pick a friendly, non-unique Stormcast Eternals infantry or cavalry unit that started the battle with 2 or more models, so no heroes, and that has been destroyed. Set up a replacement unit with half the number, rounding up, more than 9. Cool. Cool. Yeah, very flavorful. I did kind of want a Reforging style mechanic for Stormcast Eternals. And I didn't want it hidden away in a little... I didn't like holy commands, I'm going to be honest with you. And they're super overly restrictive. Only with this, only with this, only with this, only with a knight. Shorter with a knight than a lord. Only for redeemer units, and you look at them and it's only like battle line or a liberator. Once a game, give me that shit. Cool. Yes, that's kind of stepping on Death's toes a little bit, but it's very established in the lore of Stormcast, so I forgive. We forgive. Yeah. Like a whole bunch of Annihilator, like, I guess 3 Annihilators land. Sigmar blows the gun. Fastest Reforging in the West. It's high noon. They kept this goofy ass looking thing. How is Sarcosanct gone and they kept the derpy ass, stupid Corgi dragons, the worst sculpt in all of Stormcast? How did they do that? Look, I know they're popular because you gave them overpowered rules for 6 years, but Jesus Christ, if you're going to get rid of something, why not these? All right, whatever, it's fine. I'm not about to ask for more squattings, right? Kind of stepping on Death's toes. Yeah, true, Ozzy. That's literally the lore of why he's mad, so it's appropriate. You also pick a battle formation when constructing your army. These work like sub-factions of old, okay, and exemplify the way a specific force might do battle, or represent the specific tactics it employs. No longer like, you bought Yetis. Here's the Yeti sub-faction. You bought 3 new Nurgle guys. Have a Nurgle sub-faction for buying the new Nurgle guy. But they're no longer tied to a particular Kalau or scheme. Heh. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Actually, this deserves a little bit. What you see is what you get. Enjoyers, stay losing. Hold this L. Creativity chads, stay winning. Paint your dudes how you want to paint them. Have them holding the weapons you think are the coolest. Just use the rules that you want to use with the coolest looking model you want to use. Wysiwyg, into the trash it goes. Throw it like the car batteries into the ocean. Anyway, stay winning. Encouraging players to express their creativity and craft their own creations. I'm very glad they typed this, because we won the battle in first edition over this, and we maintained winning this battle in second edition over this, and it's just nice to hear that they remember that this is a more hobby focused game than 40K in a sense. I don't play 40K, so I don't have a lot of like direct comparisons here. You'll just have to make that part up. But we won the your dudes creativity, do what you want fight, and I'm glad to see them continuing to respect that. Anyhow, good work. Each faction pack, the decks of cards released alongside the new edition, contains 4 battle formations, so you can lean into particular strategies and experiment with new army options from the start. What? Faction pack, a deck of cards released alongside the new edition, contains 4 battle formations, so you can lean into particular strategies and experiment with the new army options from the start. Okay. 4 is less than 6, which we had before, but some armies only had 3, depending. I don't take kindly to having less options than I used to, but I'm reading in chat that 40k only had 1 sub-faction each.
Stop it. Get some help.
What was 40k doing? Ugh. Don't like it. Anyway, hey, alright. Take the Thunderhead host. Thunderhead host. Which prioritizes mixing and matching units from the various chambers with its synchronized strikes passive ability, allowing warrior Chambert units in combat while they're within 12 of a unit from members of a different chamber. Okay, so we're on the buddy system. Deck equals rules. Okay. Yeah, I think what the person meant with 40k is they started with 1 and then battle tomes came out. Or sorry, what is they called in 40k? Codex, right? The codex would come out and give you more. Can you shuffle the rules? Okay, and then 4 to 6 with codexes. Okay. 1 detachment. It's bare bones. All right. Thunderhead host. Synchronized strikes. Passive. Add 1 hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly warrior chamber units while they are wholly within 12. Damn, we're keeping wholly within. I'm sad to see that. This is my first... probably my first real disappointment is that we're keeping wholly within. I find it to be annoying. I'd rather just measure. Oh, you're that far away? Got him. Alright. But anyway. Of any friendly non-hero Stormcast Eternal units that do not have the Warrior Chamber keyword. So this directly benefits Warrior Chamber guys, while they're near non-Warrior Chamber guys. So it doesn't help non-Warrior Chamber guys. It only helps Warrior Chamber guys. It doesn't help the other ones. Is this bad? It sounds bad. And it's sort of like, this is the Warrior Chamber host, except you have to play some non-Warrior Chamber hosts, I guess. I mean, although you could think about it in such a way, like you're like, okay, your non-Warrior Chambers essentially get a free buff that they are just using. And so it's not that they're not getting anything, it's that they're technically getting like a buff that they're applying to a nearby Warrior Chamber thing. Warrior Chamber is like half the roster now? Oh, okay. We'll see. This one depends. I'm not sure. I'm not like calling it trash or anything. I need more information. The people abusing making a long string of guys all getting 1 buff because one guy has toe 12 inches from the buff or why Holy Within will stay? Wrong. Games Workshop writing the rules so that it literally worked like that are the reason why Holy stays. Players just do what the rules allow them to and tell them to. Buck stops here. Also, coherency could fix that, you know? If you don't want 1 string of guys, you can write coherency rules, which they have done. Or you can make Wholly Within rules, which they have also done. To me, it seems like 2 restrictive rules that are both kind of solving the same problem. I would just use 1. Also, I don't think it's a big deal if you have a line of 10 guys. I don't think that's a big deal. The gross thing was that some guy was alive, and then 20 inches over, technically part of his unit was over there because they didn't move, and you took casualties out of the middle and stuff, and that's just kind of a thing of the past. Anyway, I'm not like too shooken up about it though. Stormdrake Guard, Draconian Guard, and other warriors and heroes of the Extremist Chamber often battle within a lightning echelon. Their oncoming storm ability conferring 1 unit per turn. The strike's first effect in combat on a roll of 3 up. Ooh, we got the strike's first meta is coming back per turn, huh? This kind of flexibility extends across the factions, and we'll be seeing more of what they can do when we come with the faction focuses next month. Next month, faction focuses? There's going to be a reason to watch my stream, because there's actually fucking news that anyone gives a shit about for the first time in a calendar year. Let's go! Alright. Hey, I can't wait for those. Good work. Good work. I do want to point out that I was looking at Thunderhead Host from a player perspective right there. If we're going to put on the designer hat real quick, Meeps points out a good point. And that is, I would much rather you get a bonus for playing non-Warrior Chamber stuff with Warrior Chamber stuff than it just say Warrior Chamber get +1 to hit and you spam one guy. Not only does it give you a reason not to spam one guy, but also it gives your opponent something they can do to rob you of the effect. If possible, they could kill the other guy. They could play the game and take this buff away from you via their actions, which is also nice. And then you could know that and try to stop them, right? So, anyway, from game designer hat, I like it a lot. From player hat, we'll see. Keep in mind, players want to just spam one thing, right? Because it's easy. They want to do the easiest, most OP thing. Lightning Eccleston. Once per turn army, any combat phase. Ooh, not just yours. Big. Oncoming Storm. First to the fight. The Lightning Echelon is akin to a spear thrust into the heart of the enemy. Deployed only in times of great need, they smash into the foe's vanguard with the force of an oncoming Tempest. Pick a friendly Extremist Chamber unit that had charge this turn. Roll a die. On a 3-up, the unit has strikes first, and it happens combat phase. So, yeah, you have to charge, which means it's your turn, but not always, because you could charge on your opponent's turn now. So you can countercharge, strike first. Combo. Any combo chargers in the chat? Kind of nice. Kind of nice with it, though. This shit doesn't cost any resources either. I like how they don't cost resources and you can just do them. It's a 3-up though because it's a really powerful effect. Strike first, potentially on opponent turn, is a very strong effect. Kind of nice with it. Oh, somebody mentioned that I missed something and it's in Giga, but I didn't miss it. I saw it on Twitter. However, I'm gonna point it out anyway. This was on the War Scroll that they showed. So if anybody is thinking about release dates, at least tangentially, this was printed on the War Scroll they just showed. Look at that. Huh? July 2024. 4th of July. Today we celebrate our independence from 3rd edition. Dadbod Napgod thinks it's a tier 1. I appreciate it for 26 months. Damn. Must sub streak. Don't worry about it. 26 months is a long time. and get enslaved to the 4th. GG. Hey, the 4th edition, 4th of July, kind of makes a little bit of sense, right? Flying units are going to be extra strong with the countercharge, of course. Yep. They break the most important rules of the game. Positioning as we know it is going to radically change. Yeah, there's going to be so many choices you can make that are all very tempting and powerful. Damn, this shit is sick. I'm very excited about all this. This is looking nice. It's smelling nice. It's feeling nice. Please don't clip that. Anyway. I didn't read the bottom. Oh, there's more. Next week, we'll be digging into the guts of the combat phase and brushing up on the pious and the profane as we examine the spellcasting and prayers in the new edition, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Okay. So, talking about combat next week and talking about prayers. Great. I want to know about both of those things. The tactical depth has increased massively. The play literacy has leveled up. The possibility space has expanded. I don't know any other buzzwords. Buckle in, lean forward. Gamer posture, bless up. Will you stream your first game of 4th? But of course. It'd be kind of a missed opportunity if I didn't. Yeah, for sure. Ardent Throne. Sense feel? What's the mouth feel? Yeah, mouth feel. They kept the power roll with minimal changes. Yeah, they really did. But they added a rule to it that seems to like point players in the direction of how you were supposed to sort of treat it anyway, which is nice. They added the force to take first turn. Did they? Vandus Stormhammer. I almost said Vandus Hammerhand, because that's the guy's name. But yeah, Vandus Stormhammer. They added the force to take first turn. Did I miss that in this reading? I was to understand you still got to choose who went first. Let's see. I think it was in this one, right? It was in... Building your army has changed, maybe? Is this it? Talking about regiments. Interest here in the case of Lumineth Realm Lords, Venari, blah blah. Drops, 5 drops. Sorry, word. Oh, you know what? I haven't pressed this button in a while. I'm checking the tapes. I'm doing it.
And we take a look at the tail of the tape.
Some of them may be involved with exotic stuff, like dark matter.
An ABC News brief brought to you by Michelob Light Beer. Now from Washington, Sander Van Oker.
Alright, I'm back. I'm still checking the tapes. I haven't found the thing. Liberators Reforged. It's got to be in this part, right? I must have missed it. Player finishes setting up first is rewarded with the option to take the first turn.
Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is that I made it the fuck up.
However, he did say of the rolling, if you have to balance low drops, blah blah, tension between first turn technical advantage. It doesn't say what to do if there's a tie though. There can't be a tie, right? Because you finished setting up first. Never mind. Yeah, there can't be a tie. Somebody shoot that guy. Some blue name. No, I'm kidding. Hey, that was like a useful wrong comment because it forced me to find out what the case really was. And in the transition from one edition to another, it's important to, how do I put this? Know the difference between what something basically does and what something actually does, right? Or, well, you just think it works like this because it used to work like that, but they might have changed it. You gotta, you know. Anyway, it was a useful wrong comment. Oh, he's talking about battle round rolls. Okay. Could it be that he was talking about that? No, that wouldn't be the case because because they said if you choose to take a double, you can't score battle tactics. They wouldn't have worded it like that if you didn't have a choice. Nope, double wrong. I mean, it was a potential out, but anyway. Hey, good try. Battle round rolls is a choice. Winner chooses turn order. Yeah, because if you didn't get to choose, then all skill would go away, and it really would be random turns, and it really would be about as bad as some people think from the outside. Oh, you just randomly roll and something happens, right? If you didn't get a choice, then it really would be like that. But thankfully we have a choice, and so there's like skill to the game and interest. Anyway, this is fucking sick. I'm pleased. There's no like issue and receive language anymore. You just use it. Any unit just uses it and it just works. Nice. Great work. Limit per phase. Limit per army per phase. Can't use the same one twice. We've introduced the stack into Age of Sigmar. Great choice. First in, last out. We've defined our terms. It's all really simple. Everything is an ability, so it all just uses this. And it's only 3 steps. Couldn't be easier, right? Great work. All out attack is basically the same. All out defense is basically the same. I would pre-complain about this, but I don't think it's worth pre-complaining about this yet. So much stuff could be different or changed, right? We already know that Best Day Ever is gone except for Stormcast. We don't know what Mystic Shield does. We don't know what the basic prayers are. We don't know how things stack yet. Blah, 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 blah. Who knows? At the doubles the same. Forward to Victory is 10 million times worse in a way that viciously hurts me and my army. Damn. You gotta call your shot before knowing if you rolled well or not. And so if you manage to make it, you've wasted your point. That sucks. It doesn't game design suck, it just sucks like for me. Which is a different complaint. Rally is cool. I don't really like Rally, but this is a much nicer, more elegant Rally. And it combines with heroic healing, so fine. No big deal. Redeploy is extra interesting now. It's still a D6, right? But it's any unit ever, anywhere. That's cool and great. Looking kind of interesting. It's a big risk. Covering fire is scary. Concern. Covering fire is concerning. It has to be the nearest visible enemy unit, so there is some play to it. But it's a concern. Countercharge is also a concern. It's such a concern that it's the only command we've seen so far that costs 2. But it deserves it. This shit's scary. Countercharge is going to change things. Maybe I'm just saying that because I play the Stonehorn army. But Magical Intervention, interesting. It brings up more questions than answers, if I'm honest, so I'm not sure yet about it. Power Through is cool, and it's different enough than my ability, you know, that this is fine. Really interesting. This Power Through is going to change things as well. Do note that you still have to be in combat. You can't have killed the thing. A lot of people might not be picking up on that part and think it's like way better than it actually is. But still, I think that's an interesting one. Very cool. Steely, thanks for the 5 gifted HeyWoah memberships on YouTube. I appreciate it. TYVM, and thanks for your generosity. You've been gifting a lot this stream. I appreciate your appreciation. And thanks for the follow. I don't have an anvil. Well, get yourself one. Anyway, thanks for showing up. You can't power through nothing, right? Anyway, all that is basically sick. I only have a concern about maybe 1.6 of them. And we just need more information. Their finest Hower for Stormcast? Cool. They should be fucking big. They wear full plate, smithed by a dwarven god made out of the cratered core of a planet. Yeah, they should be hard to kill. Sure, being able to choose a unit, not hero? Big. Celestial Realm works how it used to work, basically. Cleaned up a little bit for the modern. Yeah, neat. Cool that you can do the deployment phase thing with it. Signs of the Storm. I wonder if you can move after. Probably not. They could do it in a bunch of ways. Heaven Sent. Cool and good. I like it. Battle Formations, aka Subfactions. Nice. You can still spam. If you want to spam, you still can. But I like a rule here or there obliging you not to. That's better than just saying spamming is illegal, I think. Because then, like, the crazies can still do it if they want to. Can you find a star unit before you drop them down? Let's find out. Pick a Stormcast Eternals unit that does not use this ability. Yeah. It seems so. Because it doesn't say on the battlefield. I don't know if that's part of their nomenclature. But this one... Pick a friendly Stormcast, Eternals unit that is in the Celestial Realm. So it seems like abilities can pick stuff that isn't on the table. It seems like that's just possible to do, so I don't see why you couldn't. Unless there's some explicit thing that says you can't. Seems like it would work out. And I don't think it would, like, bust anything to do that, either. It seems like they're... Just as the things are written, the answer would be, yeah, you can do that. Is it, like, crazy OP to do that? Not really. Alright. It's just good. Battle formations, yeah, Thunder Strikes. The oncoming storm seems very good. Potentially on that 3-up. Little combo with charging on your opponent's turn. Scary. Risky, but scary. Hey, look, an ability that's really strong, but it's random. And ability that's less strong, but it just works. Hey, that kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, I am the storm that is... I don't have the music on hand, but it's probably DMCA anyway. Why does this song sound so familiar? There's something nostalgic about it. I can't say. I don't know. It must be your imagination. Yeah, and they strike first because they're in the lightning echelon. Makes sense. You hope all-out defense is the only generic save stack and the rest is reserved for armor dudes like Stormcast and Slaves to Darkness? Yeah, for sure. I think I agree with that. Anyway, 4th edition, man. I'm seeing W after W, win after win. We don't know everything. There's still a whole bunch of question marks all over the place. But damn, as I read this, I'm kind of fucking excited to read about combat and prayers next week. Very cool, right? Anyway, chat. I don't have anything planned for tonight. Well, I don't have anything else planned. I was just going to talk with you on a walk for an hour and talk about the rules for 2 hours, and here we are. I really appreciate everyone showing up, though. The next 2 months might have shorter streams. They might be like 3 hours long. For that, I apologize. But we'll be picking it up afterwards. Appreciate everybody stopping by, and thank you very much for the generosity. I'm going to see if there's somebody I can raid. And if there isn't, I might just drop you in a meme place. So stick around. TYVM, thanks for showing up. Join my Discord if you feel like it. Buy a shirt, will ya?